Last weekend, the MASCAR Roundup was at Riverside Speedway outside Antigonish, Nova Scotia. Rookies Tim McKay and Dana Duncan received their branding. Some veterans looked like they came from the butcher shop, but there was no corralling Scott Fraser as he took the blue ribbon and the cash. This week, 25 cars are on the wide 1/3 mile oval of CanAm Speedway as TVMB presents MASCAR Tour 1999. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to MASCAR Tour 1999. I'm Barry Johnson along with Al Robinson. Al, we got 150 laps here tonight, and we saw some exciting racing last week in Antigonish. What do you think we're going to see here tonight?
Well, Barry, I'd say tonight we're going to see a bunch of guys that are going to try to pace themselves. It's been in excess of 35 degrees Celsius here this afternoon, so those guys are getting into the pizza oven for the first 100 laps or so till this cools off. So you're going to see some exciting racing, 24-plus cars, largest field of the year, 150 green flag laps. What more could you ask for?
That's right. It's going to be 150 laps here tonight, folks. It's going to be a long race, and it was really hot here earlier, and we got a little bit cooler of a breeze here tonight, and the track temperature is up there right now, but as the evening goes on, it should come down a little bit and help the drivers out.
Yeah, right now with the amount of cars that have been on the track, the hobby stock class and the sportsman class, the track's a little bit slippery. Give our guys a chance to get out there the first little bit of the night, get some good rubber down. They're going to create a groove, and it'll be quick. It'll be a real fast track after the sun goes down.
Some drivers of note here tonight. Scott Fraser is racing again here tonight, the second consecutive race. He raced in Antigonish and pulled the checkered flag out there. And also we got the Duncan brothers here again tonight. And we got, I guess, a real rookie out there, Don Chisholm, out there tonight.
Donald Chisholm, first time on Antigonish last week, first time on Shediac CanAm this week, a real initiation. Duncan brothers had some tough luck last weekend in Antigonish. Didn't get here until after 6 o'clock tonight. They had problems with the car when they went to load. They haven't got one lap in a practice time. The number 8 car, Leo Cochran, first time with us in a couple of years for Leo. Ran some in the States, but this is his first MASCAR event. He also has no track time, so look for the number 8 of Leo Cochran to be a contender. Scott Fraser, you can't say too much more. Scotty was really quick in practice, as was Wayne Smith. I guess you're going to see the Oval Outlaw and the 31 car, Scott Fraser. They'll be the 2 cars that'll be heading for the front. But don't count out the Dave Gorvette from the island, Bobby White, and a bunch of the others. It's going to be a good night. It's going to be a good race.
Dana Duncan's had a real busy week trying to repair that car. He did a lot of damage to the car, and he was saying they did a lot of work, a lot of sleepless hours, and a lot of time put in to get that car ready for this weekend.
He had some misfortune on the very first lap of the race last weekend. Broke a trailing arm on the right side, wheel went up in under, ended up bending a tube in the quick change, bent the top link, bent the panhard rod. And they didn't discover some of this damage till they were just about finished the car last night, so really set them back. They just pulled 16 hours straight, drove 2.5 hours in 100-degree temperatures, unloaded the car, and they're going with an unknown quantity. So if they did their homework or not, we'll find out real soon.
Last week, ladies and gentlemen, we had some exciting racing, and this week we expect to have just as much excitement, if not more. So hang on, and we're going to go to racing here real shortly.
Hello, I'm Chris Duncan, and I'm running the 79 car in MASCAR, and you're watching it all on TVMB.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the CarQuest MASCAR Tour 1999. I'm Barry Johnson, along with MASCAR official and new promoted official, Al Robinson.
Well, I don't know what you call it promoted. We did have a resignation in our ranks today, and I'm kind of looking after things here tonight, but we're going to do this TV bit too and have some fun here. A lot less stressful than looking after the races. And Dave Dixon's going to be our race director for the evening, and he's certainly more than capable of doing the job. So.
Well, right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to feature a 10-lap dash, which if the pole sitter can finish in the first position, Al gets a $100 bonus. Am I correct, or is it?
No, the pole sitter won the race last week, so there's $100 there, and that's it. Should point out, Barry, that the Dodge or the Chrysler dealers pace truck that's at the front is driven by Steve Breen, who's the rep for CarQuest here in Atlantic Canada. So we're great to have him on board, and he's a first-time driver on a racetrack too. So we're just glad to have him here, and hope he has fun with us. He's probably got the air conditioning on, which is cheating.
Well, it looks like it because all the windows are rolled up in that thing. So I wish we had some of that up here because, folks, I'm telling you, it's been one heck of a hot day, to put it politely, I guess, here in Shediac, New Brunswick. Or actually, we're in Barishwa, which is just outside of Shediac. But
I heard it was hotter in Shediac, so maybe we're okay.
Oh, I don't know. But by the looks of Parley Beach, I think it was hot somewhere because everybody ran to there today because it was one spot to be, folks, I'm telling you.
We've got an outstanding crowd here tonight, besides a class of cars. Well, grandstands are full. It's a perfect night for racing.
Like we said at the intro, it's 150 laps here tonight, so the fans are really going to get their money's worth here tonight as far as racing goes. And it's going to be one heck of a night. I've seen a lot of people here from the Miramichi. We're glad to see them. Like to say a special hello to Ronnie Innes and his couple of kids that come down. They took a chance to, or took the time to stop by and say hello, and they like what we do here on TVMB. We love to hear the feedback, and every once in a while, if you can catch the email address, by all means, give us an email and let us know what you think of our production, because we're glad to bring it to you.
We're going racing right here. Art Steve's got the green flag up in the air. 3 rookies up front, 89-14 in the 15 car. And we're going racing for the night. Boy, the 15 of Scott Alexander made her move really quick on the inside. Oh, we got a bunch of them sideways down in turn 1.
A little bit maybe of a rookie mistake there by Donnie Chisholm. He got tangled in there with Dave Oblinus.
Art Steves has got the yellow waving.
He's going to bring the yellow flag out, slow things down, get another start here maybe. Give these cars a little fairer start and see what happens here. Had a chance to talk to Donnie Chisholm earlier before the everything got started here, Al, and he's a little nervous. He was a little camera shy, poor fella. I felt a little sorry for him, and I was telling everybody else on the crew, I was saying, geez, you know, they said Donnie Chisholm, and I expect to see somebody around 30, 35 years old, and I was looking for him over there, and I kept looking and looking, and I seen this young fellow there, and somebody said, hey, Donnie, and he turned around, and I said, holy jeez, 23 years old, folks, and he's racing out here. And also, I believe in the pro stock, there's a 16-year-old. He just got his license about 2 days ago. So
I'm not up to speed on him, but we'll have a complete restart here, I believe.
Well, it's not that I'm really up to speed on it, but a fella come by and said, he's only 16 years old. You should be interviewing him. And I said, geez, if he was in the MASCAR tour, we definitely would, but we may see him someday.
89 car heading off to the pits.
Just going in to make sure everything's all right after that little bump into turn 1.
Yeah.
And we see the hood off on the 97 car of John Fleming. Yeah. He's gone into the pit area
side too. Yeah. So they're lining them right back up. Dave Dixon wasting no time. It's so hot in those cars tonight. Those guys, we're going to dehydrate up here in this announce stand. They're going to dehydrate on the track. So we want to get them going and get them rolling. You get the pace truck going too slow. You probably noticed we're picking up a little more speed on the track with the pace truck than normal, and that's to try to keep the engines and the drivers cool in these cars.
So right now we have 2, 4, 6, 8 cars out on the track.
So we've lost 3 already. We've lost the 97 and the
89.
89. 97, I see him coming on the back stretch, and I believe there's another car right behind him. So they're going to
the 48 went into the pit area too.
Yeah, they're rejoining this field. You got to remember, like I guess I told you in PEI, this is a test session. There's not a lot of money at stake. This is to find out what your car can do in actual competition.
One more time around.
Rolled up green, so they're going racing next time around. That pace truck's going to be moving down the back stretch and back up out of the way. The 89 of Don Chisholm just going to come out here and pick up the field too. Wave him on, Dave.
48.
There you go. Waved him right out on the track. Get him going quick. Round to the back of the pack. So he's really got a scatter.
48 car is still down in the pit. Don't know if we'll see him back out here or not. Up comes the green flag. We're going back to racing. Scott Alexander is in the lead temporarily going into turn number 1. Right behind him is Bobby White.
Paul Blenkhorn on the outside, and the Oval Outlaw, Wayne Smith, tucking right in behind them.
Got to keep an eye on that 44 car. That's almost like watching for the 28 car of Jeff Gordon in the NASCAR.
Yeah. You got the 31 of Scott Fraser right in there behind too. He's just kind of playing his little test session at the same time.
Well, that's just the cat creeping up on the mouse there. That's all that's doing right there. When you see Scott Fraser sitting back and tailing some of these guys. He's a little loose coming out of turn number 4.
John Fleming's car looks pretty good, so whatever adjustment they made when he shot into the pits apparently has helped them. Not having a great amount of difficulty to stay there in line. Now they got 99 of Greg Stewart looking at the inside and underneath the 97.
Don Chisholm seems to be having a little bit of problem there. He's not catching up to the pack at all.
He's maintaining the gap, though. The 44 Wayne Smith going to the outside.
That outside line seems to be a pretty good line. Cars having a little bit of problem on the inside line. We see Bobby White just hanging in behind there, in behind Scott Alexander. You might see Wayne Smith taking the lead coming around here to the start-finish line.
Wayne Smith's making up all the ground on the way into the corner. He's getting in deeper than anybody there.
I think Bobby White, if he gets a chance, he's going to make a run at Scott Alexander out there, too.
He's waiting for the hole in the bottom. Yeah, his crew, I'm listening to them on the scanner. They're telling him, stay on it, Scotty, stay on it. You're doing good. You're doing good. They're showing lots of respect. 2 laps to go this time by.
It's really hot here today, folks. It was in excess of 35 degrees. I drove by a motorhome earlier today, and it was 120 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm telling you, that was sitting right in the sun, so that just gives you an idea of how hot it's been here in and around the Shediac area. Great beach weather today.
1 lap to go this time by.
Wayne Smith is now in the lead. Bobby White has taken over second. Scott Alexander's in third. Scott Fraser sitting in fourth position. Greg Seward's in fifth. And John Fleming in sixth.
Don Chisholm there at the back of the pack, but the front of the pack, so to speak. He's done well. He's maintained the gap, so he's going to be okay when we go later on in the night. Checkered flag goes to Wayne Smith, and in second place was Bobby White, and third place was Scott Alexander. And rounding out the top 5 was Greg Seward in fourth, and I believe John Fleming in fifth. So ladies and gentlemen, that was the 10-lap dash for the MASCAR. And your winner taking a lap around right now is the number 44 car of Wayne Smith. Heads pit side. They want to get tire temperatures and know what how the car is responding. If you take the checkered flag and go around for a lap, your temperatures on your tires will drop off, and they'll lose that part of their setup, which they so badly need for qualifying, which is coming up here in a little while.
Some of them, I've heard they lose a little bit too. Also, when they travel through that gravel out there, they cool off a little bit too.
You scrub off just by moving from the racing groove down on the low side of the track. You can cool the tires off. So you want to get them off and get a barometer on them just as quick as you possibly can.
So, folks, that was the 10-lap dash here in the MASCAR Tour 1999 from Shediac CanAm Speedway here in Shediac. Coming up next will be the first heat for the MASCARs. I'm Barry Johnson along with Al Robinson, and we'll be right back to you. Scott Fraser, you've taken a bit of a break and did some racing down in the U.S. Now you're back up here in the north side of the border. How's your season been going?
It's been going pretty good. We've been having fairly good luck in that other series, and we've been running, well, we've ran 3 MASCAR races this year, and we've won 2 and 4th in the other, so we're doing pretty good everywhere. It's just, we still got Atlantic Cat sponsoring us in the other series, and we got Roland McDonald wanting me to run the car in this series, so I've still been probably racing as much this year, but just not as much around the Maritimes.
A lot of people are saying that you're good quality and a good product possibly for NASCAR. Is it the sponsorship that's holding things back on any of that, or do you want to comment on some of that?
Yeah, we certainly want to try to do it. We want to, for my sake and everybody else's, just to see if I am good enough. Maybe I'm not, but it's definitely a money thing. The amount of money we spend here in a year is nothing compared to what we need to go down there and be competitive. So if we get the money, we'll definitely try it, but until we get the money and know we can do it right, we'll stay around here and try winning races.
What about the CASCAR Tour? Has that ever crossed your mind and possibly touring with them?
Yeah, we've had not so much offers, but a lot of people talking about doing some CASCAR stuff, but I feel as far as the MASCAR Tour, it's probably it's not as big because it's not in the area that Toronto and CASCAR is out of, but I feel it's type of car is more or less what I want to drive. The CASCAR is more or less like the Shediac Sportsman cars, and it's just something that I don't really want to go back to, but it's the type of thing, if worst comes to worst, we'll try it.
Obviously, it is a dollar thing, and sponsorships are hard to get. How hard is it in the Maritimes for not just yourself, but all the other drivers to get sponsorship?
It's real hard because, people like myself have a lot of the bigger sponsors, so it makes it harder for people to go out and, especially a new guy starting out, because he's not well known and it's hard to get the money. But it's the type of thing. It's not real hard to get sponsors, but for us, where we want to race in the States, the Canadian dollar to US dollar is what kills us so much. You need twice as much when you leave Canada to do what you have half as much as what you could do in the US with it. So.
Okay, thanks very much, Scott.
Thank you.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to CarQuest Tour, MASCAR Tour 1999. We're coming to you from CanAm Speedway in Shediac, New Brunswick. I'm Barry Johnson, along with MASCAR Tour official Al Robinson. Al, we got the heat coming up here now, and just maybe run down the field quickly as to who's in this first heat here.
Okay, Barry, we've got the 97 of John Fleming in the inside pole, Scott Alexander in the 15, the outside 52, Sean Tucker out of Fredericton on the starting third in the grid, 77, Dave Gorbett, Sherwood PEI, 31, Scott Fraser out of Shubenacadie, Nova Scotia, the 48, sorry, I can't see that one
24.
Yet. 24, Scott Livingston, also out of Prince Edward Island. The 94, Russell Smith, brother of Wayne, out of Timberlea, Nova Scotia. And the 79 of Chris Duncan, racing out of St. John.
So we got a couple of sets of brothers here racing here tonight.
Yeah, we got
the Duncans and we got the Smiths. All we're missing is the Hatfield and the McCoys, and we're all set.
Well, let's hope the Hatfield McCoys are doing their thing somewhere else.
Ladies and gentlemen, the temperature has not dropped much since the top of the show.
We're
here.
still in the oven. We're half baked, Barry. Give us time.
We're half baked. I think they made a movie already about that.
Okay, we're going racing this time around. Art Steve's got the green flag ready. John Fleming and Scott Alexander eyeing each other. They're pretty squared up. Hart gives them the green flag.
And we're into racing right now, going into turn one. John Fleming does have the lead. Scott Alexander close in behind. He's getting bumped.
Scotty, he cut right in. He's trying to pinch. They're looking for their points, their rookie points, and he tried to get in on the 52 and was successful. Luckily, he didn't take the two of them out.
John Tucker almost had nothing to do with that and wasn't going to let Scott Alexander go by, but he did finally let him go.
Got to stand your ground.
We got the veteran Dave Gorbett coming on strong on the outside.
John Tucker won't know which mirror to look in.
He's got Scott Fraser on one side and Dave Gorbett on the other. This guy is seeing double trouble.
John Fleming moving right away from the pack. We got the real racing's going back up. The 31 of Scott Fraser underneath the 52.
I think Dave Gorbett's going to try and get underneath Scott Fraser. He's getting underneath Sean Tucker. Right now we have John Fleming in the lead. The 15 car of Scott Alexander's in second. Scott Fraser is now in third. Dave Gorbett is in fourth.
Rounding out the field, the 52, the 94. The 24 and 79. Now for this Chris Duncan now at the running at the tail end, he's just feeling the car out.
He hasn't had a chance to practice yet today.
This is practice for him right now, and he's doing fairly well. He's running a pretty good line for a guy that hasn't seen the racetrack.
We're halfway through. Scott Fraser does take Scott Alexander. Now he's lining up John Fleming.
One on the outside, one on the inside, or vice versa.
I think Scott Fraser will have no trouble going by John Fleming. As we come around here to the start-finish line, it will be Scott Fraser passing John Fleming just at the start-finish line. As Scott Alexander drops down to third, Dave Gorbett's in fourth. Sean Tucker is down into fifth.
John Fleming, he's thinking, well, maybe Mr. Fraser, you're not going by.
Well, I was talking to John Fleming earlier, and he said that I was asking him, if they like it when Scott Fraser goes down south of the border to race, and he said no. He said makes me polish up my skills a little bit and see what I can do out there against a guy like that. And he said it's really nice to race against somebody like him because it really, really puts you to the test. Scott Fraser opening up a little bit of a lead now, almost 2 car lengths going into turn number 3.
1 lap to go. Art's got the white flag waving. Got a real race back in the back of the pack for the last 3 positions. So everybody that's here is serious about it.
Scott Fraser opening up a lead, and John Fleming I don't think is going to catch him for the checkered flag. As we see Dave Gorbett kind of looking a little bit for third, but just not going to get it. He tries and fights for it at the end, but just doesn't get it at all. Chris Duncan avoided finishing last anyway, with, like you say, that was just a feeling out process for him. So your heat winner was the number 31 car of Scott Fraser. I don't think it was ever in question or in doubt, but anyway, we have to announce it. And the second place was 97, John Fleming. And in third place, the number 15 car of Scott Alexander, which is the rookie. I'd like to mention right now, ladies and gentlemen, that if you're watching from out of province, you happen to be visiting us here in New Brunswick, and you're saying, gee, we'd like to see some of this on our own cable network, I'll tell you what you got to do. You got to go to your own local cable carrier, tell them, look, we want to see some MASCAR that's being filmed in New Brunswick, and what they'll have to do is contact TVMB and see if they can make some deals there and see what's going to happen, but hopefully it'll work out for you, and that's what you got to do if you want to see some MASCAR racing on your local cable network. And we are proud to show the people here in New Brunswick MASCAR Tour 1999. It's been a lot of fun here so far, and we're about halfway through the MASCAR Tour season, which is really surprising now. The season's going by pretty quick.
It's been a good summer, Barry. See, right now our cameraman's being lapped. Probably the slowest thing that's been on this track today. Some people do anything for attention, eh?
Well, our cameraman is on. He's going to be doing a shot of the cars coming around the track, which is a real unique shot you might see in NASCAR. They have a camera on the car or something like that. You see the grid behind you or in front of you. And this is a real good shot to take a look at, and kind of a dangerous, risky job out there. I don't think I want to be out there amongst those fellows, but nonetheless, our cameraman Dave Hanlon out there around the golf cart, which is a really good shot. Our second heat coming up here now, Al, and just run down the field quickly there for us.
Okay, first on the pole today, Blockhouse Bomber, Dave Pierce, the number 21, followed by the number 71 of Rick McCracken out of Fredericton, New Brunswick, the number 99, Greg Seward out of Halifax, the 14, Paul Blankhorn out of Truro, Nova Scotia, 88, Chris Hughes from Charlottetown, the 28 out of Borden, Prince Edward Island, Alan Vincent, his first run with us this year, the number 8 of Leo Cochran out of Harrietsfield, Nova Scotia, also Leo's first run with us this year, although he has put in many a season in the past, and the number 48 of Dave Oblinus, who ironically made this race after he said, no, where am I going to start in the feature? And they put a rear end in that car in the last 45 minutes in this extreme heat. They broke a tube in the qualifying, in the dash, and there it is. Quite a pit crew, a real tribute to the guys that he's got that put their time in working on his car.
Well, folks, you think the pit crews in NASCAR are quick, and Formula One and kart racing. Well, these fellows are no slouches here either. They can compete probably with the best of them down there. And hats off to the crew of Dave Oblinus. I mean, that's just really phenomenal to put a rear end in a car that quick. I mean, I spent 4 weeks putting a transmission in one time.
They broke one tube in the quick change, so that's one axle tube. So what they did is hauled the side bell off the quick change, had to heat it, pull a tube out, put a tube in, put it all back together. Here we go. Art Plate, Steve's ready to wave the green, and it is out. Dave Pierce, Rick McCracken, side by side at the start-finish line.
Rick McCracken quick to try and get the lead on Dave Pierce. Greg Seward kind of looking at things there too. Oh, he rams into the back of Dave Pierce. Just kind of sending a message to get out of my way. I'm coming up behind you. He's going to take him on the high side.
14 of Paul Blankhorn made a rookie mistake. You get in a little bit too hard, and next thing you know, the car pushes up, left the big hole, and there goes Greg. So
Greg Seward now going to be chasing down the 71 car of Rick McCracken.
Followed by 14 Paul Blankhorn and the 88 of Chris Hughes, only his second run with MASCAR this year.
This should be a real good heat here, Al. I think it's going to be a real tight field here, but Rick McCracken open up a bit of a lead. He's about 3-4 car lengths ahead of Greg Seward as they go into turn number 3. But Seward is gaining a little bit of ground on him. Now Dave Pierce is bringing up the rear. He's having some problems out there, Al.
He's having some engine problems.
He's heading to the pit.
Dave's got a bit of a skip going there. So I saw the hood off earlier and then playing with carburetors. So quite sure his son Sean's his crew chief, and he'll get that car going and they'll be back.
Folks, you may notice also on Chris Hughes' car and also Dave Pierce's, there's a lot of white body on there that needs some sponsorship. So if anybody's looking to sponsor a driver or wants to, a few extra dollars to throw into some sponsorship, it's a great way to have your product advertised. See these cars going around, especially when you get a 150 lapper tonight. It's going to be seen a good many times. So
there's the number 8, Leo Cochran, having some problems too. Leo didn't get a lot of practice time in here at Shediac, but he was at Oxford Plains, and Oxford is laid out a lot like the Shediac track. He seems to be bobbling in the back end. So
your race leader right now for this second heat is the number 71 car, Rick McCracken. In second place is 99, Greg Seward. And in third is the number 14 car, Paul Blankhorn. You see Chris Hughes coming across into the fourth. He's going to make a run for third, as he has been looking to the inside a little bit there. You see a little fire coming out of the back exhaust on Chris Hughes' car.
And as it gets darker, we'll see more of those flames. That's just gas that didn't get burned when it was in the combustion chamber, and the heat from the exhaust burns it up when you lift your foot.
And there is a lot of heat in here tonight.
Those guys will lose 10 pounds in 10 laps.
Well, I was asking
not a weight loss program I'd recommend to anybody.
No.
1 lap to go, and the 99 of Greg Seward is underneath the 71 going across the start-finish line.
He is going to make a run for it, Al. I think he's going to pass him down the back straightaway. Going into turn number 3, he does get down on him. Is he going to make... Here's your race winner for heat number 2, Greg Seward. Finishing second is number 71, Rick McCracken. Number 14, Paul Blankhorn, finishing third. And Chris Hughes, the rookie, finishing fourth in the 88 car. As I say, as you folks, you may be able to see there, there's a lot of white body on that car that doesn't have any decals of any sort or stickers of any sort, which are sponsors. And I know he would just love to have a few people come on board, especially on that big white hood. He'd love to have something on there.
If you want to spend some money, racing's a great place. You know what they say about racing? You want to make a small fortune in racing? Start with a big one.
That's right. That's right. Because these guys, folks, they do make it on their own, and they're putting all the money, their own money into it. They may have a few small little sponsors, but boy, that's just going to buy the spark plugs and the bolts and the nuts.
That's right. This is an expensive hobby. These guys would spend, and I hope nobody's wife is listening, but these guys would spend probably about $1,000 a week. That's what makes it. That's to make the expenses.
That's just a race. That's not including new crash the week before.
That doesn't include the repair bills. That's right.
No.
That's enough to buy you tires and gas and pay your way in, sort of thing. But there is no real budget for repair or crash damage and engine failures. Although these guys are pretty good in the engine department. They're getting engines out of places like R&D Performance in Truro and getting a season of real good hard running out of them without too much problem.
Well, folks, this is a bit of a rare treat. We got 3 heats here tonight for the MASCAR. We have 25 cars, I believe, in the grid tonight, so we've had to have 3 heats here tonight.
As the car count goes up, Barry, that according to the rules, 20 cars and over takes us to 3 heats. If we get up over 30 cars, we'll be going to 4. Expect to have actually a couple of new cars with us in Prince Edward Island here in a couple of weeks, plus the field that's here tonight. The number 2 car, Brad Tozer, who has been a regular the last couple of seasons, has been tied up work-wise, and they're going to be freed up. Talked to one of the guys in their crew in the pits there tonight. He got a sticker package for his car with the sponsors and stuff on it. He guarantees me they'll be in PEI. Also, the number 19 out of Salisbury, New Brunswick, Tim Rogers, will be with us on the Prince Edward Island date. So. We're hoping for 27 or 28, maybe even as many as 30 cars for our 200 lapper in PEI in a couple of weeks.
Well, Al, PEI is going to be one heck of a weekend over there. There's going to be a lot of racing and a lot to see. It's also drag racing over there that weekend, and plus their regular features.
Art Stevens has a green flag in the air.
We're ready to go racing.
81 of Bobby White just trying to drive right under George and root him out in the first lap. The George Koskulics in the 6. Bobby White in the 81 and Wayne Smith in the 44 running 3rd.
Bobby White going to take George Koskulics in turn number 4. You got down underneath him and pushed him up out of the way a little bit. As you see the Red Baron, I guess we could call him, Wayne Smith in 3rd place. Don't count him out by no stretch of imagination. He will definitely be there come the finish line.
Wayne lost his brakes in Antigonish last week and was running in 1st place at the time, fell off the pace, finished, I believe, 5th. First time he'd been bragging earlier in the day about how great the recirculation system had been working in the car, and ended up breaking a line off, jinxed himself, I guess.
Exactly.
He's getting ready to start working the 81 of Bobby White over, so we're going to see some real competition here in the next 7 or so laps before this qualifier ends.
And of course, bringing up the rear here is the other Duncan who didn't get any practice time. Also, Dana Duncan driving the number 7 Fluid Technologies car.
89 car just went around.
That is the car of Don Chisholm. Actually, folks, that car is the actual car of Scott Kelly's, and the number's been changed on it, and a different driver. Oh, he's got a little...
We're looking at the spent exhaust that I talked about earlier. It's just backfiring through the exhaust as he tries to fire it.
2 or 3 times there. Yeah. That's quite a thing to some people to see there.
His crew chief will be saying, "Don't pump the gas, don't pump the gas."
Yeah.
And it'll whine and kick on its own.
Just a little bit of a rookie mistake, but I was asking Ken Packham about him, and I said, what do you think of his chances in MASCAR? And he said, a good young kid, first thing. He said he's got a head on his shoulders, and he's got a great guy in the pit with him in the way of Junior Kelly. You couldn't ask for much better.
No, he did a real credible job in Antigonish, did a real decent job.
Well, in front of a home crowd, I mean, that'd be pretty nerve-wracking in itself, I would think.
I think the nerve-wracking part would be looking out and seeing those guys coming at you, sitting there in the middle of the corner. Are they going to go high, low, or over me?
Yeah, 23 years old, but he's gone to racing school down in the States.
He was to a Richard Petty driving experience, I believe.
That's the one I was going to mention.
Art's got the green flag up, and we're stacked up again, ready to go back to racing. Dave Dixon doing a great job getting these guys rolling.
Actually, Byron Bartlett's not driving the number 7 car anymore. He's packed it in for the season.
Now, Byron was in to visit me on Thursday night this past week, and he's got other commitments, and he hopes to be back someday.
Well, he took the season off last year too, so maybe he's just not quite ready. Maybe there's some internal problems there, but nonetheless, he's taking the rest of the year off. And we got Dana Duncan driving the number 7 car.
That 44 Wayne Smith showing some power.
He is definitely showing some power there. It kind of makes you wonder what the heck he's running under there and what he's doing.
Well, the 5 car Doug Stokes. I believe it's only the 3rd time this year we've seen Doug with us. So once again, these guys have kind of saved their money the first half and have full intentions of being here for the second half.
2 laps left to go. As Wayne Smith is in the lead, in the 81 car, Bobby White's in second. Number 6 car of George Koskulics is in 3rd place, and Doug Stokes is picking up the rear in 4th place.
This has probably been, Barry, the closest heat of the night. Everybody's kind of following in the old freight train.
It seems to be.
You add 2 more thirds of that third, man, you got yourself a show.
Well, we're going to have one heck of a grid out there when the race does start. It's going to be a big field out there, 25 cars in all, provided everybody gets to start. So it's going to be some great racing out there, folks, and it's a great track to have a large field like that with 4 lanes wide. There's your heat winner, number 44, Wayne Smith. Finishing in 2nd place is number 81, Bobby White. And I believe Doug Stokes finished in 3rd place.
George Koskulik, I believe, was
okay, he went straight to the pits.
Okay. They're looking for tire temperatures there. George missed the setup a touch. So
okay.
What we got here is Wayne Smith adding 15 points to his lead as a current points leader.
Like he really needed that.
Well, he needs them all. Hey, one little mess up, and you lose 2 points per position in the feature, 1 point for position here. It doesn't take long for someone, you go out in the first couple of laps in the feature, everybody else is going to make a ton on you.
So that's 3 heats in the record book, and we'll be soon coming up to the main event, which will be the feature race, 150-lap feature with the MASCAR Tour 1999. We will bring in that to you very shortly. I'm Barry Johnson along with Al Robinson. We'll be coming back to you. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As you see a beautiful moon over Shediac here tonight, we are proud to bring you CarQuest MASCAR Tour 1999. I'm Barry Johnson, and soon to be joined by MASCAR official Al Robinson, who is down trackside. This is race number 7 in the MASCAR Tour. We're coming from CanAm Speedway in Barrachois, New Brunswick, which is just outside of Shediac, in case you're wondering where the Barrachois is from. Like I said, I'm Barry Johnson. I will be giving you the play, and my color man Al Robinson is making his way up as I look down. And we have 23 cars in the field tonight. 5 of them are New Brunswickers. Starting on the pole tonight will be car number 97 of John Fleming. Starting in the 2nd position beside him is number 15, the rookie Scott Alexander. And the 3rd spot is number 17, Dave Potter. Scott Fraser, the one that everybody's talking about and saying to keep the eye on, he's starting in about 13th position here tonight. And we just got the gentleman start your engine call as we get ready to the pace car truck ready to lead these guys around the track. A great crowd on hand here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. A capacity crowd here tonight, and it's been a long night here for us tonight as we're getting very late in the evening for us as we're taping this. We have 150 laps here to bring to you, so it should be a real good race here tonight. We've had a lot of cautions in the previous races, and it's been a really, I can't emphasize enough, a long, hot night/day. But nonetheless, we are here and we're ready to show some racing as we got a great shot here of all the cars. The fans get a chance to look at them all. The drivers are out standing by their car during the introductions. Actually, the white car you see right in front of us is the 99 of Greg Seward. So Scott Fraser's got his hands full here with a lot of good drivers ahead of him. The likes of John Fleming, Dave Oblinas, Bobby White, Dave Gorvette, Greg Seward, and the points leader, Wayne Smith. He's going to have a hard time getting by those guys, especially starting in the middle of the pack. But the great driver that Scott Fraser is, he should not have too much trouble. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching us and you're living outside the New Brunswick area and you'd like to have MASCAR Tour 99 brought to your local cable company, just get in touch with the local cable company. They'll get in touch with TVMB, try and patch things up and get a tape sent to your local cable company, and hopefully everything will work out and you'll be able to see some real good stock car racing in your area. We will be bringing you, our next race will be coming from PEI, which is a 200 lapper. And joining us now is Big Al, a warm Big Al, I guess we could say right there now, after being down trackside, running up those stairs and getting a little drink of water along the way there somewhere. I don't know where you got it, but you got it somewhere.
My wife takes good care of me.
behind every man's a good woman, they say. So
I'll tell you, Barry, just from moving trackside back up here to the tower, believe it or not, when you step over the wall down onto the racing surface, the temperature goes up.
Oh, I would imagine that pavement's pretty hot out there.
Those guys are, I think they're going to relax. Well, I hope they're going to relax. I don't want to jinx anybody. But here they come around. I believe on the second lap, this lap of single file, I think they're going to salute the fans.
Well, that would be really good.
Very appreciative of the full house here tonight.
That's what I was just saying a little bit earlier before you
there they go. John Fleming, you see the racing glove, the safety glove out the window.
You take a look there, and the fans are appreciating it right back, waving back at them.
Yeah.
That's just showing a little bit of appreciation and a lot of patience, because I was just saying that it's been a long night here tonight. A lot of these fans that are going to see this on TVMB, it's going to be a Sunday afternoon and don't realize that it's been a long day. They see it and it looks like, oh, you taped it in a couple hours, that's fine. But there's 3 or 4 other races ahead of us here that we usually have to wait for before the main event. And we are proud to bring you CarQuest MASCAR Tour 1999. They make their turn around here in front of us.
I talked to John Fleming there for a few minutes at the start of the driver introductions. And he tells me the crew changed the spring and changed a couple of tires, moved to open the stagger and stuff up. That was what their adjustment was for the night compared to the afternoon in the heat. So we'll see which way he goes. George Koskulik's beside him, always a fierce competitor. Disappointed with his run last week in Antigonish, so he's here to show what he's really made of today.
I was just mentioning about Scott Fraser starting about the middle of the pack here tonight. He's got one pile of good drivers in front of him, the likes of Wayne Smith and Greg Seward, John Fleming, Dave Corbett.
I teased Scotty during the lineup. I said, hey, Scott, only half of them are booing for you. Now, when the other half boos, you know you got it made, pal.
That's right.
Got quite a chuckle out of him. He's a fierce competitor, though, and definitely the best chassis man that's ever come out of this part of the country, for sure. And I think in my estimations, I'd include Junior Hanley in that now at this point.
Art Steve's calling for them to cross over. It'll be one more lap around. We'll soon be getting ready for racing here as they get the tires warmed up on these cars. We've had a lot of cautions in the late model Sportsman.
They're going this time around. Art's got the yellow or the green flag up.
They're going to go racing. The fans get up and start saluting them.
Some of the guys are sleeping at the back.
Here we go. Art's going to get this underway, and we're gone racing. 150 laps here tonight, the feature race, the MASCAR Tour 1999. John Fleming is in the lead. The rookie Scott Alexander in second. George Koskulik for the moment is in third, with Rick McCracken. Rick McCracken and George Koskulik are fighting for third right there now as they cross the start-finish line. McCracken does get the third. As we see Scott Fraser just kind of sitting back there in behind Wayne Smith. We got a great field out there tonight, 23 cars. We have 5 New Brunswickers in that, and it is 150 laps here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, so you're going to get to see a lot of good racing here tonight. John Fleming is still in the lead, but Scott Alexander is right on his bumper.
Scott Alexander showing great power. This is definitely the strongest he's been this year.
He's been pretty good all year, really.
They've been doing their homework, though. Yeah, you run a lot of laps a week. This is a whole lot different than a weekly show. You run weekly show 25 and 35 lap features. You come out here, you run 100 laps every night. You got to improve with practice. That's what it's all about. Boy, Scott Alexander looking to the low side there.
He was looking there real heavy there. John Fleming shut the door on him. I don't think John was going to let him get through there that easy. As you see Wayne Smith kind of backing off a little bit there, and Scott Fraser stepping up, tailing in behind Greg Seward. Seward moves up into the pack, eyeing up Dave Corbett and Dave Oblinas. We see Dana Duncan. Excuse me, Dana Duncan.
Sitting high and dry in turn 2.
As a yellow flag does come out.
He's headed pit side.
Well, they didn't get a chance to really try that car out after repairing the rear end on that. The axle, the tube, I guess it is. You're more familiar with those terminologies than I am.
They've been a left side axle tube where the panhard bar bolts on. And what that does is takes the rear end of the car out of square and makes the rear end want to drive the car sideways, so you can't make it go around the corners.
So they're obviously got to do a few minor adjustments in there, and hopefully we'll see Dana back out. Actually a bit of a rookie here on this tour, and it's nice to see him out there racing against his, I believe his older brother, Chris.
Big brother Chris, yeah.
So we're going to get everything lined up here. Art Steve's down there to get everybody lined up, and really too bad. Took a lot of momentum away from Scott Fraser there, because he was really moving up there, him and Greg Seward both.
Oh, they go back one lap. They go back to the last completed lap for the realignment. So if you see somebody ahead of somebody that, or behind somebody that they were ahead of when they went by the start-finish line, it's because they do go back to the last fully completed lap. You notice John Fleming's keeping the speed up pretty good in that car, and Pace Truck picking them up now. But what they have to do is keep the water temperatures down, and they start slowing them down too much, you'll have a bunch of cars boiling. So
got to keep the wind going through that radiator.
You got to keep the wind going through. Some of these cars, no fans on them, just the water pump. So they're depending on the natural movement of the car to cool the liquids.
So as we wait for the Pace Truck to clear the track, we've had a caution here.
The 7 of Dana Duncan back on the track there already, so
obviously maybe just a minor adjustment.
Yeah,
and
may have changed the tire or something.
Got to really commend the pit crew on some of these racing teams here. They're phenomenally fast.
There we go. Art Steve's. I'm sorry to interrupt there. Good. Okay. Art Steve's crossing them over. We've got a realignment already, so Dave Dixon's doing one great job up there.
They're not fooling around here either, because it's getting late in the night. These guys want to get this race over with, and well, not necessarily over with, but want to get it underway and not race under caution most of the night. Although the laps are not counted under caution.
Laps aren't counted, but it's late at night. A lot of people here with younger children and younger kids, as we all know, as the night wears on, get restless. And
one of them's a longtime friend, just sitting down not too far in front of us there, drove down from the Miramichi tonight, or actually this afternoon for the race. Follows MASCAR quite religiously, I guess you could say. He really likes it, and his little fella said, his father said, you know, you recognize that fella? He said, no. He said, you recognize the voice? And he said, yeah. He said, well, that's the guy from the MASCAR. So it's nice to get recognized once in a while. It's nice to know people are watching this and enjoying it, and especially, you know, of all ages. It's really good to see.
That's I feel bad. The only race I'm going to miss this year is the Miramichi race. I've got my wife's got business in Quebec City that week, and we're going to make a bit of a trip out of it. So I won't be in Miramichi City Speedway on the 7th of August. I'll tell you, one lady that knows how to take care of the MASCAR officials and make everybody feel at home is Lois Tozer, who's the owner of the Miramichi City Speedway. So
used to be McKay's at one time.
Used to be McKay's way. Yeah, used to be Scott McKay used to run it.
Yeah.
Art's got the green flag up in the air for them, and
we're going to get back to racing.
We're going racing.
Here comes the green flag. John Fleming takes the lead into turn number 1, but Scott Alexander is really making him earn his keep here tonight. As you see George Koskiewicz, the ever dangerous George Koskiewicz, looking down on the inside. We got a real bunch here in the first of the pack. You see Scott Fraser passing Greg Stewart on the outside, coming down the front straightaway. He's looking at Dave Gorvette and Dave Oblinas. See a little bit of pushing going on there with Scott Fraser on top of Dave Gorvette.
Scott Alexander would really like to get down in that inside lane. The outside's great. So far hasn't got any rubber down on it, and it's not the fast way around. See, these sportsman cars that raced before us run a lower groove. So these guys will have to lay the rubber on the top part of the track before they can move up. See the 31 and the 77 of Dave Gorvette and Scott Fraser duking it out back there, about a third of the way.
You see Scott Alexander's moved back off the pace into 5th place. Scott Fraser doing a little bump in there with Dave Gorvette, and he's not going to like that too much. The veteran Dave Gorvette, and of course Scott Fraser's a veteran too. Although he's only, early 30s, I believe, or
Dave?
Late? No, it's Scott Fraser.
No, Scott Fraser. I don't think he's 30 yet.
No. Dave Gorvette, no.
Dave Gorvette's got a few rings on his tree more than that.
Yeah, he's past 30 a few years ago.
Yeah.
The 94 car is real loose out there.
94 car's got panhard bar broken and the rear end's floating free in the car, so he just pedaled to the pits. We probably won't see him for a while.
That was the 94 car of Russell Smith.
Russell Smith out of Timberley, Nova Scotia.
His brother is Wayne Smith in the 44 car, which is the points leader here. You see John Fleming really hanging on to the lead, but George Koskiewicz is really looking up his tailpipe.
Bobby White's moved into 3rd place there. We kind of missed him. That's a mistake on our part because we know what kind of a contender he is.
Well, we saw that on the island, and he was really a contender over there. As you see Rick McCracken in 4th place, Scott Alexander in 5th, Dave Oblinas in 6th, Craig Seward in 7th, Wayne Smith in 8th.
The 52 car, Sean Tucker, had made his way up into the top 5 and got kind of boxed in on the outside, and he's all the way back now to about 9th or 10th, and he still isn't back in line. So
he's moving up ever so slightly. Doug Stokes, he goes by Doug Stokes. Scott Fraser now trying to move up there a little bit too. He did get by Dave Gorvette.
71 of Rick McCracken. Car seems to be pushing. He's got to the outside, and he's holding up Sean Tucker at the time being.
He's kind of moved up out of the way. He's way up high there, coming out of turn number 2.
He may have a tire going down. Oh, here we have what? Car turn.
That's Sean Tucker spun out. It lightly touches the wall, but he backs up and going to get out of it. Art Steve's reluctant to bring out the yellow. He's got his arms up in the air.
He's still moving.
Yeah, he's not going to bring out the yellow, which is great. We can continue on with the racing here. As John Fleming is still your race leader, and George Koskiewicz is having a little bit of a battle there with Bobby White for second. Scott Alexander still in 4th, Dave Oblinus in 5th, Craig Seward in 6th. And your points leader, Wayne Smith, looks like he's going to go by Craig Seward. As a lot of people here today are calling this the sauna track. People shedding a few pounds here today, and a lot of liquids were sold here today, whether it be pop, water, or otherwise. Keep those fluids into the people here today.
As Ken Packham had mentioned earlier, this is going to be rock and roll heaven next weekend, but they'll go a long way to be more exciting than what kind of a show we've got here tonight.
That's going to be quite a rock fest coming up next weekend. The likes of ZZ Top and I can remember back the days of Chilliwack and those types of bands when I was going to school. So it's going to be a pretty good time here next weekend nonetheless. But right here tonight, we're proud to bring to you CarQuest MASCAR Tour 1999. I'm Barry Johnson along with Al Robinson, who is the newly promoted MASCAR official.
81 of Bobby White's got George Koskiewicz there when they encountered a little bit of traffic in the 28 of Al Vincent, used the traffic to his advantage, slower car to his advantage to pick up one spot there in the number 6.
See the 94 car of Russell Smith come back out onto the track, so obviously he's got things straightened out a bit there, whatever was wrong. Might have been a tire gone flat on him too, it's hard to say. As your leader is still the 97 car of John Fleming. Right on his rear end now is Bobby White, who we've been neglecting to keep an eye on here. I don't know how he's sneaking by on us here. But George Koskiewicz now is in 3rd.
George kind of cooled his tires off there a little bit. He's going to make another run at them. He's just running a nice smooth line, George is.
As you see on your monitor, Scott Fraser is really staying on the high side of everybody here. He's getting a bit of a line and a groove out there. Tailing Wayne Smith a bit there now. Just waiting for an opportunity to get inside of him.
We've got a race starting up front, Barry. We've got the 81 of Bobby White, and a lap car is going to come into play. Not a lap car yet, but the 7 car of Dana Duncan's going to come into play here. We'll see how the leaders maneuver around him.
Bobby White is trying to get by John Fleming. Does he get by him at the start-finish line? Yes, he does. John Fleming now in 2nd place. But don't count John Fleming out. He's always got a few tricks up his sleeve. George Koskiewicz looking in on John Fleming. I think he may take over second place.
Well, George is going to use, if they use the 7 car as a blocker, you get the 20 or the 97 underneath, no place to go, you're in trouble.
He can, Bobby White can help him out a little bit there. He can do it.
Yeah.
I think he's going to give it a try here. Nope. John Fleming gets out in and around. But the Dana Duncan car, the number 7.
Mike Rogers, the crew chief for the 7 cars, certainly he's called his driver and said, look, the leaders are coming. Let's not get involved. Let's stay back out of the way. Dana's doing a good job at staying down low, and he's following them. He's running a good line. Well,
Dana's got quite a car there to work with, and he's got to try and use it to its fullest potential. Byron Bartlett always had a little bit of problem with that car too, so we'll see what happens as the races go on. Now we got some lap cars now. It's going to be a little bit difficult to keep an eye on who's where. I think that may be your job. Maybe you can hear what's going on there, Al, more than I can.
They're not saying a whole lot of anything. To tell the truth, I didn't even plug in yet. Too hot.
Yeah, way too hot. Right now, your race leader is Bobby White, the 81 car. Sitting in 2nd is number 97, John Fleming. And the ever popular and ever dangerous George Koskiewicz in the 6 car. We have a car spun out in turn, going into turn number 2, and that's the number 88.
Chris Hughes from Charlottetown.
That brings out a yellow caution. That'll bunch up the pack a little bit, maybe a little bit to Scott Fraser's advantage. People are hearing his name quite a bit so far in this race. He's a fellow that you may eventually, if he can get the right sponsorship, be going south to the NASCAR Tour. Talking to him earlier in the night, actually it was the afternoon, and he said that the sponsorship is getting closer and closer all the time, so he may be going south of the border.
We're talking numbers too. I mean, to go south of the border, we're talking numbers that would scare the ordinary person.
Oh yes, more than what the average person would make in a couple of years' salary, that's for sure. And for anybody who's interested, the number 8 car of Leo Cochran is for sale. If anybody's looking to get into the MASCAR Tour, as it drives by, there's a little yellow for sale sign over the right back tire. So if anybody's interested in getting into NASCAR, or you can even use that for a pro stock car, I would imagine.
That car would be legal to run in Fredericton, has run in the States. Leo would probably be interested in not only selling the car, maybe he might sell the car without the motor without the car. They've got a company, he and John Fleming, called Racers Alliance, and they sell and do work on a lot of people's race cars in the Halifax area. That's, I believe the 8 car is one of their shop cars.
So if anybody's interested, there's a little plug for Leo Cochran anyway. If anybody's looking for a pro stock or a MASCAR, it would be the opportunity to maybe pick one up for sure. So right now your race leader is the number 81 of Bobby White. And you see sitting beside him is Sean Tucker, which I don't think is quite right. I think
Sean Tucker's a lap car, so he's the lap cars are
on the inside tonight.
Yep.
Okay, that straightens that one out real quick. Yep. So your race leader is 81 Bobby White. Sitting in second is the 97 car of John Fleming. In third is number 6 George Koskulik. And in fourth, moved right up into the pack, is number 48 Dave Oblinas. These guys are sneaking up on us, Al, pretty quick, and we're not keeping an eye on these fellows. Unfortunately, we don't have a tree here to see who's where and what. And
no electronic board here, so we just have to kind of take it as we see it.
And unfortunately, tonight our position is not right beside the official scorers, so we don't really know exactly who's where. But we do know that the race leaders on the restart are on the outside. Scott Fraser, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's put the 6th position right now. 34 laps complete. Just got a little word there from my colleagues on the French side.
Okay, we've got a couple of lap cars towards the tail end of the pack, and they've decided they don't want to get in the way of the fellows that are leading this race. They don't want to be a factor in a win or a loss, so they've chosen to stay at the back of the pack.
Well, that's showing a little bit of sportsmanship, I think, and I think they know likes it with Dana Duncan, Chris Hughes, the 94 car of Russell Smith. And we see the 21 car of Dave Pierce coming back out onto the track, minus the hood. That'll help cool things off, but it cuts down on the aerodynamics for sure. A lot of cars tonight were running without the hoods, and for whatever reason. But it turned out to be a little bit cooler for them, for sure.
Okay, the lights are out on the pace truck. Art's giving them the rolled up green, so we're going racing next time around. The race director, Dave Dixon, yelling at them to tighten the pack up, tighten the pack up. You don't want to be sleeping at the back, because it doesn't take the fast cars long to get around. Our Atlantic Chrysler dealers trucks going over to Hyde.
Going into the doghouse.
Yeah, being piloted tonight by Steve Breen of CarQuest in St. John.
And Art's got the green flag out, and we're going to go racing. We've got some slower cars at the back, but they're not really worried about rushing up to the front. Bobby White still hangs on to the lead, the number 81 car, and John Fleming might be a little bit to his advantage to sneak back up on him again. John Fleming's in second place, and George Koskulik is in third in the number 6 car. George Koskulik is one of those cars out there that could probably use a few more sponsors. He's got a lot of white space there on the hood and the doors. Well, there's no doors, but the sides anyway.
Oh, John Fleming got a little bit high. George got the nose right in there.
George going to get a chance to go by him, I think, on the inside here in turn 1. Excuse me. You see Sean Tucker kind of taking a look at John Fleming there too, but John's one of the...
John Tucker down a lap, so it's important for him to stay within reach and stay close to the leader. Chance to get that lap back later on.
See Scott Fraser. Oh, we got two. Yeah, we got 2 cars, Dave Pierce and the 94 car.
Sideways,
Russell Smith.
Sideways in turn 1.
unfortunately for our advantage point here, we got a big wall here and we can't really see very well into turn number 1. But as soon as we seen the yellow out, we found out what it was.
So looking for a single file. Race director Dave Dixon yelling at them on the scanner to get, or on the radio, get in line, single file. That makes it easier for them to line them back up. If the 89 and 28 know their lap cars, they're trying to help out, going to squeeze to the front. 52 should be at ahead of them. He should be moving in.
So as we see, the 21 and 94 no worse for wear.
The 15 of Scott Alexander just went to the pits. So he was having a real strong run to see what happens there, whether he comes back out.
He's done that a couple of times so far this season. He's had a real strong run, then all of a sudden he's right back into the pit, and I don't know if, as the car goes on and gets hot, if something happens to it or what, but he always seems to have that problem every once in a while. So Scott Fraser is sitting back in behind Wayne Smith. Scott Fraser sitting 6th right now, but he was taking a real good look at Wayne Smith, and I think if the race wouldn't have went to a yellow, he would have gone by Wayne Smith. Once again, I'm Barry Johnson along with Al Robinson, and we're glad to bring you MASCAR Tour 1999 here on TVMD Sports. We've got some phenomenal camera shots here, similar to what they call a speed shot along the fence.
Yellow lights are out, Barry, on the pace truck. Everybody's crossed over. Just tell them to bunch them up. They're going to go next time again. Always, I hope our cameraman gets a good shot out here one of these times. You don't see anybody any more colorful on the flag stand than Art Steves.
It's a wonder he doesn't throw a hip once in a while, because he gets going there sometimes. And
you'd wonder.
But he gets right into it, and we're got the green flag, and we're going racing. As we see Bobby White taking the lead into the turn number 1.
Yeah, Sean Tucker right now has the lap back.
Yes, because he did get by Bobby White, so
that puts him back on I believe on the lead lap. The 15 car Scott Alexander just returning to the track.
And he just got out ahead of Bobby White, so he's not down a lap yet. Hopefully he won't be. He can catch up to the rest of the pack. Sean Tucker trying to stay ahead of Bobby White so he doesn't go down a lap. Scott Fraser looked a little loose just before he went into turn number 1. The back end swaying a little on him. Track could be getting, we got a piece of debris down and coming into turn number 4. Yellow caution is coming out. They're going to have to get that piece of debris off. Nope.
Yeah, yellow's out. Yellow's out. Good call. Good call, Barry. You can make it as an official. Atta boy.
No, I wouldn't want the headache. This is enough. I wouldn't want to be down there. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be on the. I wouldn't want to be on the track. It's too warm. Warm enough up here. Trying to see who that is, what car that is off of.
Could be the front fender off the left front fender off the 99 car, Greg Seward. Have a look when he's going to the pit, so it's a good chance that is his debris.
So we are in lap number 40 right now. Once again, there's a great crowd on hand here tonight, and they've stuck around here right till the very end, which is really great to see. Especially a lot of them come here to support the local sportsman features and things like that, street stock and late model sportsmen. But it's not very often they do get to see a MASCAR race out here. I mean, there is 3 here this summer, which is...
They're pretty well spaced out. We're not back here again now till Labor Day, so...
That's near the tail end of the schedule, so I think that's just before the Antigonish trip, I believe, isn't it? The 250 laps.
Yeah, this is the last race of the season's here on Labor Day weekend on Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock.
In PEI, we're going to be bringing you some fantastic action over there. We got a 200 lapper over there on Sunday afternoon, but we got a lot of preliminary stuff going on Saturday night. And
do you suppose it could ever be this hot on Sunday afternoon at PEI?
I don't know.
I'm going to get in the dunk tank, and I'm not getting out.
I don't know. I think I'm going to get a hot tub, and it's going to be full of cold water and ice cubes.
And product.
Yeah, they call that a cryotherapy tub in the medical field. Fill it up full of ice and put a jet on, and it's great for reducing swelling and things like that. But I have a few cool ones along the side there somewhere too. So But a lot of drag racing goes on over in the island on long weekends, and a lot of stock car racing. It's going to be an action-packed weekend over there if you get the chance. And your schedule permits it, you should head over to the island.
That's the holiday weekend, by the way, here in New Brunswick, too. It's New Brunswick Days is the Monday, so gives you lots of time to go to the island, have fun, catch some racing, do a little bit of things that tourists do. And you still got Monday to travel. So.
That's right. That's right. The lights are still on the pace truck as they're trying to get everything all straightened out. I think the lights will be going out as they pass the stripe here pretty soon.
Yeah, they've got one more car to line up. 15 and 52 need to be switched around.
That's one great thing with the radio system. You don't have to get anybody down on the track and try and sort them out like they do for the local sportsmen and street stock races. They can talk to these guys and tell them where they have to go. 9 times out of 10, though, some of the drivers like to tell the track officials where to go sometimes too, and they don't like some of the calls, but
that's the life of an official.
that is, whether it's MASCAR, hockey, baseball, football. I've been on the side where it was hockey one time in the mirror machine, and it's not a pleasant job. You get called every name except your own. The lights are out on the pace truck, Al. We got the rolled up green. He's crossing them over. Scott Fraser still sitting in sixth. In first is the number 81 car, Bobby White. Sitting second is George Koskulik, but George has been in second for near all night, but he's had a different leader in front of him a couple of times. So
99 car, Greg Stewart just returning to the track.
That is his fender, I believe, by the looks of things, yeah. And we're going to get ready for racing. Art Steves has got the green flag out. And we're going racing. Into turn 1, Bobby White takes the lead. George Koskulik's not too far behind. Don Fleming sitting in third. Dave Oblinus in the 48 sitting in fourth. Wayne Smith in the 44 car is in fifth. And the ever popular Scott Fraser is in sixth. As they're passing some of the slower cars. George Koskulik, I think, may give Bobby White a bit of a run for his money here. See the front of the pack opening up, the top three kind of opening up a bit of a lead there. A little bit of a space between second and third. But that little cat and mouse game that Scott Fraser's playing there, just keep an eye on him. We get near the 100 laps or so, he may be making a move.
He's saving a set of tires there now. You don't need to wear the car out. 150 is a long night on a cool night.
Later on, we could be seeing some cars overheat, but I think it might have cooled off enough just to keep them.
It wouldn't have been this hot when Scott Fraser was racing at New Smyrna in Florida. So
George Koskulik coming out of turn 4 was looking down on the inside on Bobby White.
Yeah, George is stalking him, that's for sure. It's cat and mouse at the front.
He's tailing him a little bit there, kind of saving a little bit.
Yeah, John Fleming, he's sitting right there watching too, so he's a long way from out of the picture.
Get the blue and white flag out from Art Steves. The slower cars let the faster cars go by. Not the blue and white, the blue and yellow. Blue and yellow flag.
Blue and yellow flag,
I think I said blue and white, but
blue and yellow.
I made a mistake, caught myself on it. He's pointing at the 28 car on that one, telling him to let the faster cars go by. 24 car went around out of turn 1 and into turn 2 a little sideways. And your race leader is the number 81 car, Bobby White. Art's getting a little fed up with the 28 car. That's Alan Vincent. 3 times now he's given him the yellow and blue flag.
You can only move so far down the track, though. Alan's given them a racing groove there. That's the best you can.
Don't look now, Al, but we got one of those goofy cameramen in here taking a picture of us.
Well, I'm just here in the scanner, 21 car starting to overheat, so we'll have a look here and maybe we can.
That's the 21 car of Dave Pierce.
Yeah.
Even with the hood running off, he's still getting a little warm. He's getting bumped in behind there by the 94 car. A little difficult here now to keep track of who's where.
Yes.
The 81 car, I guess, of Bobby White is still in first place. George Koskiewicz is in second. John Fleming in third. Dave Oblinus, the loose car going into turn 4, is in fourth. Scott Fraser's moved up into fifth.
Doug Stokes, Wayne Smith.
Doug Stokes has passed Wayne Smith. Dave Corvette's moving up in the pack too. I think you may see Scott Fraser making a bit of a move.
Meatball flag to Dave Pierce. The meatball means that you've got a mechanical problem, and yellow flags out.
We got Dave Potter and number 89 of Donnie Chisholm tangled up in between turn 1 and 2. Art Steves was busy there with the flags.
He did a real dance.
We got Dana Duncan overheated into turn number 4. So I think the heat's going to play a factor here on some of the cars, as we saw a little bit of steam coming out of Dana Duncan's car sitting in turn number 4.
There's got to be a lot of fatigue too, as far as the drivers go.
Well, they had to sit for a long time before this race started. A lot of cautions in that sportsman, the late model sportsman class.
Down on the start finish line before the races started, I mean, they were down there, Powerade and Gatorade. Talk about a place to do a commercial. Everybody just pounding the liquids right to them, because these guys, I mean, they'll lose 10 or 15 pounds weight wise. I can remember years back when I owned a car myself with Dave Dixon, Bruce March. When we came home from Prince Edward Island, we always used to have to really rush to make the boat, and my wife always made John change outside because he smelled that bed when he hit the truck. And I mean, it's phenomenal. Like, these guys are athletes. You know, it's one thing, MASCAR itself and stock car racing, it's an entertainment business, but for these gentlemen in the cars, it's a sport.
Well, you get
and
that.
You don't get a line change here.
No, you don't.
You don't get to sit down and wait for the next batter to come up.
Well, you're similar to a referee in a hockey game. You don't leave the ice and go for a line shift.
That's right. You know, you're the man.
Just you and the car. It's man and beast. As we see them cleaning up the track in behind the Donnie Chisholm car, which was the former car of Scott Kelly, who we all know had passed away in May.
Here on the scanner, the 21 car Dave Pierce, he's telling his crew to start pouring cold water over the radiator. We see if we can't chill it out. We got a yellow flag, and let's use it to our advantage.
I think Donnie Chisholm's got some serious problems there. So while they clean up the track, we're going to take it to a break, and when we come back, we will be going to Green Flag Racing. You're watching CarQuest MASCAR Tour 1999. I'm Barry Johnson along with Al Robinson, and we'll be right back after this break. John Fleming, the 97 car. John, you've won 3 races in a row, and now you're on a bit of a downslide. You want to maybe give us a brief rundown of what's been going on the last few weeks?
Yeah, I don't know. It started off real good. A lot of preparation in the car, and the car was working real good. Actually, PEI, we had the fastest car in PEI and had a little bit of bad luck. Got spun out early, ended up down a lap, so passed the leader at the end. Actually, really should have had a shot at that one, and but Antigonish, we missed the setup bad in Antigonish, and it showed.
In the middle of a little bit of controversy after the PEI race, do you want to comment a little bit on that, or it's just there's a lot of finger pointing going on there? What actually did happen in your eyes, and that's really where we're going at?
Yeah, well, honestly, like me and Steve got together on a restart, and I got spun out, and the caution came out a couple laps later, and I figured I was down a lap, but like a lot of times you're down a lap and they say you ain't down a lap, and vice versa. You know, the scoring's a little iffy sometimes, and I was running like I was down a lap, like I wasn't pressing nobody in the race and all that, and then they had me up on the leaderboard, so we figured that we're on the lead lap, so we went for the win.
Got into I believe it was Bobby White or Jay, yeah, in the corner there, yeah, in the final lap, and that's where a lot of finger pointing went on there, that you maybe have shoved him out of the way and took his chances away.
Well, yeah, but actually I was talking to Jay, and Jay didn't know that I was under him, I guess. I had a run on him going underneath the corner, and I think he was just stroking it more or less, thought that there was nobody around him, and he just really never come out of the corner like he was supposed to, and I don't know, my right front got into his left rear, and well, I figured we were going for the win, so didn't let up, and his tire blew, and after we come unhooked, I guess he did a couple 360s. I didn't see it, but that's what happened in my eyes anyway.
PEI track's not the best track to run on anyway. It's pretty choppy in places and broken up. They need some major work done to that track over there.
Yeah, it's real bad actually, because I remember going through the race thinking that somebody was pushing me, like knocking me loose, and then I look in my mirror and like nobody even behind me, just at the tracks. She's beat up bad.
The heat today, it's above 35 degrees. I saw a thermometer a while ago, 120 Fahrenheit. How is this going to play a factor here today? What's the track like out there?
The track's pretty good, maybe a little slick, but not much. But the guys that have been practicing all day, it might have a factor on them. But if you hit out of the heat, you might be out. I think you'll be in good shape.
Okay, thanks, John.
Thanks.
And there, ladies and gentlemen, we're back with CarQuest MASCAR Tour 1999. As you see, a large crowd on hand here, the large grandstand here at CanAm Speedway in Barishaw, New Brunswick, which is just outside of Shediac. And you can hear the roar of the cars out there. As we see the 17 car of Dave Potter with no hood also. Art Steve's running back up to the flag tower.
The 17 car Dave Potter just involved in that caution in turn 1-2 that brought out the yellow, so he could possibly have some damage from right there.
As we see the Donnie Chisholm car, I guess, has gone back to the pit. He had a little bit of damage there and quite a bit of fluid leaking out. As Bobby White is your race leader, sitting in second is George Koskuliks. In third is the number 97 car of John Fleming.
Okay, Art Steve's bringing out the rolled up green of the pace truck, Atlantic Chrysler Dealers pace truck, leaving the track. We're going to be going racing next time by.
Just like to say a special hello to everybody watching here tonight from all around the province, whether it be French, English. And we got the green flag and we're going racing. You see Bobby White taking a lead into turn number 1. Right behind him is George Koskuliks, as it's been so far tonight. We are on lap number 54, soon to go into lap 55. The race is going by fairly quickly. Sitting in third is 97, John Fleming. In fourth, number 48, Dave Oblinas. Sitting in fifth right now is Scott Fraser in the 31 car, a Rolly McDonald car.
Rolly McDonald car.
Freight Lines, King Freight Lines car. As we can really hear the cars going around the track here. As they come around the front straightaway, start-finish line. Got to give Dana Duncan a lot of credit there. He's really giving it a go out there and trying to make the best out of things with what he has. See Dave Potter without the hood near the back of the pack.
Oh, Dave Potter's got some damage on that left front corner, and no way you'd get a hood on that car. Art waving his arm off there, trying to get the 94 Russell Smith down low.
See Scott Fraser taking a peek at Dave Oblinas on the inside. Going down the back straightaway, he's really taking a hard look in there. Got halfway up on the 48, had to back off a little bit. Now he's going to pass him on the inside in turn number 4. I don't know if now would be the time to start making your moves or not. It's only early in the race yet, a little over a third of the way through.
Well, it's safer at the front. The more cars that are behind you, the less chance you have of running into somebody. So if you can get to the front without using your car up, using your tires up, then you should be okay.
So your race leader is Bobby White. Sitting in second is George Koskuliks. In third is John Fleming. And now in fourth is Scott Fraser. And rounding out the top 5 is the number 48 car of Dave Oblinas.
Yes, Barry, it's getting hotter here by the minute. I know up where we are here. But we have a real race going on at the front of the pack. John Fleming's car all of a sudden showing a little bit of steam, and he's starting to work on George Koskuliks. George has dropped back some from Bobby, so it'll remain to be seen whether George is trying to save the tires for a shot at him later on, or whether he's actually punished the car and run out of tires here at in the early going. Dave Oblinas seems to have things pretty well sorted out and managing to hold the car back and hold Doug Stokes and Wayne Smith back, protecting his 5th place position.
I just had to step out for a second there and get a little breather. Very, very hot in here. We're still going green flag racing out here. Your race leader is still the number 81 of Bobby White. Sitting in second is George Koskulix. In third is the 97 car of John Fleming. And the cat, I guess we could call him, Mr. Scott Fraser, sitting in fourth.
Would that be the Atlantic cat, Barry? Are you starting to use puns late at night? Must be the heat.
Got to be the heat. You just got me with a mouthful of water. I couldn't answer back right away. Oh, we have a lot of fun here, folks, bringing you MASCAR race each and every week.
Oh, we just have the 21 car, Dave Pierce, just returning to the track in turn 3.
But he got cooled off, but how long is he cooled off for? That's the only thing. No, going back into the pit. Not going to do it.
No,
that may be a night for him.
He's got problems other than the heating here.
Art Steves waving the yellow and blue, or the blue and yellow flag at the 94 car, Russell Smith.
The 88 car, Chris Hughes, having a pretty good run here.
We got a bit of a crash into turn number 4. Russell Smith getting into the 24 car. He's going to have to go to the pit and get some. That was his 24 car, Scott Livingston. He's got to go in there. He sees the yellow flag out now. Oh, he's got a little more damage there. He just ran smack dab into the pit wall. He's got more damage there, and then I think the wheel just all of a sudden cut wham right into the wall.
Just check it here on our monitor. He may have tie rod end problems. Maybe we can. Yeah, he's got.
As you see, the 94 car of Russell Smith, no worse for wear.
The 94 car of Russell Smith, Dave Dixon, the race director has. Oh, we got a replay here.
We got a replay here of the little accident that's occurred going into turn number 4, as Russell Smith got spun around, and Scott Livingston caught his left front bumper into Russell Smith, therefore bringing out the yellow caution. Art Steve's going to have a little talk, I think, with Russell Smith.
Got MASCAR official Mark Foster down there. His mechanic's gloves on, keep from getting burned. They're going to have a look there and see what's jammed up. Have to wait for a tow truck, and it's a lot quicker to start getting things ready for the tow truck to hook up, get this show back on the road.
Now things have gotten a lot quieter, and as the yellow does come out. So Art Steves had a little talk to Russell Smith car, the 94 car, and all of a sudden he's going into the pit. I don't remember seeing a black flag or anything come out there, so maybe he had some.
Art Steves went down, had to talk to Russell, and reminded him that the blue and yellow flag means move over, the faster cars are coming. And that's when Art goes down and tells you that, that means the next time you don't get out of the way, you're going to be leaving.
So maybe Russell's taking it upon himself just to leave in the first place.
He was at the back of the pack. He's probably going in for an adjustment. This is only his second time out with us, and it's a lot faster than the racing he's been doing in Halifax at the other track. Well, we've got a fire going here now on the 24 car.
We got a lot of smoke coming out of the number 24 car. Fire department in there and taking a look. Could be just a bit of fluid on the manifold or something there, getting a little warm. He's getting out of the car.
Yeah.
Just as a precautionary measure, folks.
Well, he'll be home and he'll be working in the shop on the car tomorrow, because with a race coming up in a couple of weeks in PEI, there's one thing those PEI guys are, and that's competitive, especially in their home track.
Well, him and the likes of Dave Gorvette and a couple others that are just eluding my tired mind here tonight.
That was the 88 of Chris Hughes would be,
there we go.
Would be the other one.
That would be the other one. I knew there was 3, but I just couldn't. It's been a long day here, folks. Trust me on that one.
We've got them all lined up on the track, ready to go. So
got a lot of volunteers here, Al, behind the scenes in the MASCAR Tour. I mean, a lot of the scorers in here, the ladies in there, and they're feverishly writing down numbers as they go across the start-finish line. A lot of things people don't see, and that goes to show even for other, Formula One or NASCAR or whatever, there's a lot of people behind the scenes, but what makes it more unique here is that the people behind the scenes are all volunteer.
But they come to the races every weekend because they love racing.
And it's not just a men thing or a male thing.
No,
I mean,
it's a family thing, Barry.
You look around the crowd here, you see a lot of kids, a lot of women, a lot of men. I think it's almost a mix in here. And you don't see just younger women in here. You see a lot of what some would be. I look at some here and I say that they must be grandmothers anyway. Some of them, I don't want to be too harsh or anything, but we're going to get the green flag here. We're going to get ready for racing. All right, Steve raised the green flag, and we're racing. As we got a spin out, George Koskilik spins out, going out of turn number 1. Doug Stokes bangs into the right rear of him. Bad break for George Koskilik. Didn't get to see what happened there. But I know Doug Stokes kind of got a good chunk of his rear right fender. We do have a replay of it. George not a happy camper, I don't think. He gets nudged a little bit by Dana Duncan, I would say there. It's one of the slower cars.
Boy, Scott Fraser just made it through just ever so.
He went high on that one.
Ever so lucky. But that comes from having a quality spotter. And a lot of talent yourself.
There's the Doug Stokes car. I don't know if there's much damage to the...
Well, they're looking at the right front of the Doug Stokes car. He's steaming there, and it looks like there'll be a fair amount of body damage. Once again, we got...
George Koskilich is not leaving, but he's running up beside Dana Duncan, having a few words for him. He pulled right up beside him and went about 30 feet there, and he had words. So while they try and get the track cleaned up from some of that fluid, we're going to take a little break. You're watching MASCAR Tour 1999 on TVNB. Don Chisholm in the 89 car. Don, you're just new to the scene here this year. How would you say the last couple of races have been for you? I guess you only raced once before this one here in Shediac tonight.
They went pretty good, I think. Just trying to stay out of trouble and get some laps and go for next year, I guess, a little harder, just to get some experience and hopefully not mess anybody up.
It's no secret that there's quite a bit of history in that car that you're driving, and I think you got yourself a pretty good car there. It's just a matter of you getting used to the feel of it, I think.
Yeah, no question. I think last weekend it was as good as any car there, with maybe the exception of one. But no, it's just experience and seat time is all I need to certainly get the car.
Just like to mention to the folks, it is the number 12 car of Scott Kelly, and as we all know, Scott Kelly passed away in May. So I think you're quite lucky to land that car, and you've changed it to an 89, which you couldn't really use a number 12 for respect, I guess, of anything else.
That's right, and Scott's dad, Junior's given us a hand with setups and stuff like that, so there's still a little bit of involvement from the Kellys, which is great, because we need all the help we can get.
By the looks of it, you're probably one of the youngest drivers out there. How old are you, and how much experience have you had driving a stock car in general?
23 and very little. I went to a racing school in the States and just sort of learning by experience, I guess. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, good luck to you, and it's glad to see that Scott Kelly's car is going, and you're keeping some of that memory alive there, and you got his dad in the pit with you, and you couldn't ask for much more. You got a great guy there in the pit with you. Yeah,
no, he's been lots of help, and I don't know, we'd be way farther behind without Junior, so we need all the help we can get.
Well, a little bit of patience, and hopefully it'll work out for you. Good luck in this race.
Thanks a lot.
And there's a good shot of the crowd here once again tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're back to MASCAR Tour 1999, 150 lap feature here tonight at CanAm Speedway in Barishwa, New Brunswick. I'm Barry Johnston, along with Al Robinson, who's busy checking things out as one of the MASCAR officials here, so he's doing a little bit of a double duty, and we're glad to have him along. It's great to have the inside line here on the MASCAR Tour here on TVNB.
But we weren't doing MASCAR work that time, Barry. We were doing a Barry, and we were getting some cool air.
As we went to break there, ladies and gentlemen, it's a good chance for us to get a little cool air, because we're basically in a telephone booth here that's very, very warm. As we wait now, and Art Steves make sure everybody's all lined up. Just probably cross them over here next time around.
It'll be a straight line. That's it. They're gonna move anybody that's a lap car to the front. Looks like the 28's the only one that wants to run as a...
Okay, the lights will probably go out in the pace truck, not pace car. That's a really sharp looking truck out there. Your race leader right now is Bobby White in the 81 car. Now sitting in second is the 97 car of John Fleming. In the nickname the Cat 31 car, Scott Fraser. Sitting in third now. Mr. George Koskulik's forced to go to the back, so obviously they've made a ruling that he was not touched or anything and caused a spin out himself.
They put the 7 car to the back to them. They moved him away from the front line and put him to the end of the longest line. So I guess they're saying that if you're not going to be real courteous with the leaders, he may have touched him, he may not. I don't know what the call is from the tower, but by them moving him to the back of that line, they're taking away the chance of it happening again.
Well, I'm going to take this opportunity to say hi to my folks up in the Miramichi. I know they watch quite regularly every other weekend, and unfortunately live in an area where there's no cable, so they have to visit other relatives in town. They're just in an in-between area where the cable won't come to and it won't come down, won't come up. So on the cable people, maybe you're listening, give my parents some cable up there. Let them hear their boy on TV once in a while. So I just want to say hi, Mom and Dad and everybody else up there. I'm glad you're listening to us on TVNB. It's been a lot of fun. I've been doing a lot of ball this summer, ball hockey and MASCAR. The only race I've missed so far this summer was the Antigonish one, and I was on vacation then, so I'm glad to be back. It wasn't a very pleasant vacation, but I won't get into long details on that one. I've already bored enough people with it.
Okay, we're going next time around.
Pace truck has gone into its doghouse over there, I guess you could call it, and RC's got the green flag up. No doubt Bobby White's taking a long, hard look at it. You see a puff of smoke out of the 52 car of Sean Tucker, and we're going green flag racing. You see some debris flying. Oh, Dana Duncan almost looked like he took a run. He almost took a run, I would say, at the number 88 car of Chris Hughes. We got another yellow out there. His car just took an automatic dive right towards Chris Hughes.
The 88 car of Chris Hughes has a flat tire. I think it may have happened the other way around.
Okay. We get a replay of that.
7 of Dana Duncan heading to the pits, and I think 88's going to be right behind him.
So we'll get these cars lined up fairly quickly here again, I would imagine.
The 5 car Doug Stokes, I believe, heading to the pits.
It's got some sparks flying underneath there. Obviously a little bit of debris or a piece of metal hanging down. These cars are really taking a beating here tonight. I imagine the drivers are too in that heat. There's no question, it's real hot in there. You get those driver suits on, and next thing you know, you're into a real good sauna. So they're not long getting things lined up. Didn't have to put any quick dry out onto the track. Art Steves has the flags crossed. Wants them to crisscross over. The lights have gone out on the pace truck. The pace truck's going into what I'll nickname as the doghouse for this race anyway. Goes over there and sneaks in.
We're going Greenberry lap 72, 3 laps from halfway.
72 laps complete, or going on 72 laps, I guess. Green flag is out. Here comes Bobby White and the leaders. Bobby White leading the race. Number 97, John Fleming, getting a little loose coming out of turn number 1. Scott Fraser sitting in third. Dave Oplinus in fourth. Wayne Smith rounding out the top 5 with a 44 car. We still see a lot of sparks flying up from the back of Doug Stokes' car. I think we're going to get the we're going to get the blue and yellow flag out. Art Steve's going to give it to somebody here. See Scott Fraser kind of looking high on John Fleming. Stokes got a lot of problems there.
Ada Leo Cochran just turned her in turn 4 all by himself.
Don't think that's going to bring out a yellow just yet, as he can get that out of there. And he does get it going underneath his own steam, so he's backing up onto the racetrack. Sitting away at the back. You see the water jug sitting right in there beside him.
Yeah, it'd be hot water by now.
That's for sure, as we see.
Put water in the oven, it always gets hot.
We see Dana Duncan coming out, and we see Chris Hughes coming out.
Chris Hughes got his tire changed, and Dana Duncan the hood off, so they may have some heating problems.
A very hot night here. It'd be great for somebody who was tending, I think, here tonight, but I think a motorhome with some air conditioning would be a lot more pleasant here tonight. See Dana Duncan not really getting up to speed here right now. He may be heading towards the pit, and he is. I think they're a little too hot there for him.
You mentioned motorhomes. MASCAR really owes Jim Dunn from CRC Mobile Homes in Moncton a favor. Ken Packham was moving a trailer for us from Fredericton to Halifax. Had some equipment problems. Jimmy Dunn came in off his vacation into CRC, fixed him up part-wise, sent him on his way. Real job of service when nobody else was certainly available anywhere around.
Well, definitely a hats-off salute to him.
Bobby White's starting to stretch it out some.
That he is, and if he can get ahead of some slower traffic, he'll really sit comfortably there. Not really much of a battle going on for second there yet. Scott Fraser just kind of sitting back and waiting. Like you say, he may be just kind of easing up on the tires a little bit. How many laps could they get out of a set of tires in a race here?
They probably go about 300 laps before they're beyond racing.
And those are Hoosier tires, which they switched over to last year, I believe.
We were on McCreary's for 4 or 5 years and switched to the Hoosier tire last year.
Seems to be holding up quite well for the drivers.
We're pleased with them, and we're pleased with the service work we get from the marketing representative in Canada.
That's a big thing. You want to see that fellow every once in a while, that sales rep, and it's nice to see them every once in a while. Let them know what they think and what the drivers think of them anyway. Obviously, the big sponsor is CarQuest this year. I do believe I heard earlier in Ken Packham's introductions, Castrol. Another official motor oil of MASCAR Tour.
BASF paints, Wix filters, all fine products distributed by CASCAR in Atlantic Canada.
Chris Hughes getting the blue and yellow flag because Bobby White is coming up behind him. Chris Hughes not really getting out of his way, but
Chris is on the lead lap till he goes by him. So
Bobby White had no trouble going by him down the back stretch. See John Fleming kind of closing the gap just a little bit on him. Well, we started out with 23 cars tonight, and we're down to 15 right now. Well, obviously the heat and damage is taking its toll on these cars here.
Just as you speak, 16 comes down the backstretch, heading back to the track.
And that's number 17 car.
Dave Potter.
Dave Potter.
So these guys, they came to race. They didn't come to watch. They'll do whatever they can. Of course, by him coming back on the track, somebody else drops out. He picks up points. That's the ever important part of it. It's 2 points per position. So
there's not much left of the car out there, but
almost like an open wheel modified.
Oh, it looks like one of the outlaw cars there in the dirt tracks that they race once in a while. There's not too much left in the front end of that car. We can get a good shot of that as it comes around the number 17 car. We get a good look on the inside front portion of one of those cars. See what they're made of in the front underneath all that fiberglass and metal that's on the outside covering it.
Scott Fraser's starting to work John Fleming over pretty good. He's high on him, low on him. Just there trying to squeeze John, trying to make him make a mistake.
See Art Steves telling Dana Duncan to get on the inside and let those faster cars go by. You see Scott Fraser is really working John Fleming hard. Scott Fraser going to take him, I think, maybe down the back stretch. He's really giving him a run. And like I said earlier off the top of the show here, that John Fleming likes to race against him. Well, he's getting his chance right now. As we know, a few weeks ago, the from the race drivers, I guess, from Oxford come up and raced in Halifax against our MASCAR drivers. And
well, it wasn't MASCAR drivers in Halifax.
Well, some of them
just Bobby White.
Yeah, that's right too. Yeah,
John Fleming, the only 2 regulars that were there. But Bobby White did win the race.
Oh, John Fleming and Scott Fraser did a little bump in there coming out of turn 2. Scott Fraser does get it going underneath his own steam.
Yellow's out.
We get a quick replay on that if we see what happened there. See if maybe John Fleming was up to one of his old tricks here. I won't say he's a bad guy or nothing, but see if maybe there was a little bumping going on there. Because we saw a little bumping there on the island with John Fleming on the very last lap, quarter of the last lap, I guess you could say, coming into turn number 4. That was lap number 100. Give or take a lap or so here, or counting maybe off just a bit, but you see some numbers being juggled around here by the assistant to Art Steves.
It'll be interesting to see exactly what who goes where on this one.
Well, you're the man with the scanner there. You'll be able to tell us whenever it does. We do have a replay of this. Here it comes. What happens here? They are side by side. Oh, Scott Fraser just caught.
Scott Fraser clipped him.
Yeah.
In technical terms, MASCAR, I guess, or in racing, we call that chopping. He tried to move into a position that wasn't quite open for him, so
he was trying to park an 18-wheeler into a
compact car's place. Yes.
Exactly. So Scott Fraser, the victim of his own demise there, I guess you could say. Scott Fraser is gone to the pit area. My eyes do.
But I've just been informed, Barry, we're going to go green on lap 96.
96, is it? Okay.
Yes, it is, yeah.
So to see what Scott Fraser must be in, just checking things out to see what's going on. See how much damage or anything might have happened.
We see with our camera there in the pits right now, the 2021 car, Dave Pierce, they're still fiercely working away at it.
Great work by our cameramen out there. Hats off to them. These are guys that you don't see. And
77 of Dave Gorvette was in the pits.
That's actually in the crow's nest shot, I believe. That
great camera work.
We have down in turn number 1. There's a crow's nest down there. We got a camera guy sitting in there. There's actually a track cameraman down there too with them. So it's quite a crowded spot. It's a shaky. It's a shaky little spot up there. We don't want to be in that in a windy day. 31
of Scott Fraser back on the track. The 77 of Dave Gorvette just coming back on high in turn number 4, turn number 3. So rolled up green next time around, so that means we're going for it.
See where they place Scott Fraser. He's coming up into the pack a little bit here.
I just passed a couple lap cars. They're waving him by, so there.
So now we'll see some fancy driving by Scott Fraser to get up into the pack again.
He's got his work cut out for him now. 50 laps to.
And we got the green flag, and we're going to go back to racing. Bobby White still leading this race, as he has most of the race here tonight. He led the majority of it. And John Fleming is now not having to look and see Scott Fraser in his rearview mirror too much now, but he's got to worry about Dave Oblinas. There's no slouch to this circuit by no stretch of the imagination.
Wayne Smith, we haven't seen a whole lot of him yet tonight, but he's just slid into the 4th place position.
Yes, we remember him from the island there. We kind of took some of those friendly wagers up in the booth that night, and we all kind of had him, but we didn't look too good there for a while, and all of a sudden, who was there near the end?
He's been there every night. He was a fast car between he and Scott Fraser and Antigonish last weekend, and was unfortunate enough to lose his brakes. Top 5 rundown as they come by the start-finish line this time by. Number 181, Bob White, followed by the 97 of John Fleming, 48 of Dave Oblinas, 44 of Wayne Smith, 99 of Greg Seward make up the top 5.
It's a rather spaced out top 5 right now. The only 2 that are real close is Bobby White and John Fleming. And then you see Dave Oblinas and Wayne Smith. They're fairly close. And then not too far behind is Greg Seward. So
Lap 100 last time by, so we've got 50 laps to go.
And yes, folks, I have learned that his last name is Seward and not Stewart.
Yeah.
I still get razzed about that almost everywhere we go around in this MASCAR tour. Scott Fraser is going, looked like he was going into pit lane. He came out wide along the front straightaway.
Now look at John Fleming. Look at the leaders now. John Fleming is right up underneath Bobby White.
Scott Fraser really passing some of those slower cars in the back. You're seeing some real good driving by Scott Fraser right now to get up close again. Barring an accident or anything like that. Oh, we got Chris Hughes spinning out and going into turn number 4. I don't think that's going to bring out a yellow. Art Steve's checking it out to see if he's going to get going under his own steam. He is. He's got it going. Oh. Yellow does come out. Chris Hughes probably would have got out there, but none of the cars are punched up enough for enough space for him to get out there. So
and he's exposing his driver's door to traffic, and that's
a dangerous.
That's a dangerous one, and that's when you'll see the yellow come quick. We don't want to see anybody get hurt.
The experienced flagman of Art Steves wouldn't take a chance on somebody else's life by no means. Not too many bad decisions come out of that fellow when he's got the flags in his hand. Great fellow to talk to. I just met him here. Actually, really had a good chance to talk to him last time we were in Shediac, and a lot of knowledge in that fella. And he worked in TV himself, so it was.
Art was a producer at ATV for 30-some years.
Many moons.
Just retired in the last number of months.
And he calls it a retirement, but he said he hasn't settled down and relaxed any. He's been traveling all over the Maritimes.
Oh, he's been in
Oxford and
Loudon to the Winston Cup race.
That would have been just a couple of weekends ago.
Art's big. He's sitting now waiting for the phone. His daughter Carol is due to have the first grandchild here within the next month or so.
Well, that'll be a proud papa, that's for sure.
Yeah. Carol,
Happy or Grampy or
Carol and her husband Tim live in Bermuda, and I would say Art will probably be Bermuda bound. I can't imagine that. He's going to stay away from an occasion like that.
No, not knowing the guy that he is, he's the character.
He's a family man. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, yes. But it must wear on him after a while, traveling to track. But on the other hand, you got to say, geez, I must be doing something right because all these people want me here and there. So
he could have been an actor or a juggler or whatever. I mean, he's up there and he starts to swing those sticks around.
Well, he could have been his tap dancer, I think, the way he steps around down there. But it's warm, folks, when you see Art Steve wearing shorts on the flag stand. I'm telling you right now, I think over in PEI, wearing those black pants that you guys wear, I don't know how he did it. I mean, I get ridiculed sometimes for wearing shorts around, but I'm telling you, I can't stand the heat. So, but with Art Steve's wearing shorts, it's been a hot day over here in Barachois, New Brunswick, which is just outside of Shediac.
Art was telling me he's going to go home afterwards tonight. He didn't bring the motorhome up, so he's got a 3.5-hour trip to Halifax.
Well, it's good highway now, and he's right on the 4-laner going pretty well all the way. So
the wildlife will all be in the bog tonight.
Yeah.
It's too hot to be hanging around the road.
Well, the flies might drive them out. I unfortunately, traveling back from Miramichi on Wednesday night, I had to go to Fredericton and then travel from Fredericton to St. John and just missed a moose coming down. So, as we like to call them once in a while, swamp donkeys.
Yes. Well, here we go. Art's got that green up, and he's going to do a dance here again in a second. Green flag is out.
So your race leader once again, I'm getting tired of saying this, is Bobby White in the 81 car. Sitting in second is John Fleming in the 97 car. Sitting in third is Dave Oblinitz, and fourth is Wayne Smith. And in fifth is Greg Seward, rounding out the top 5. Because for me to go down the pack right now and say who's on the lead and who's within the leaders, I don't know if I can pick them out right now. I know Gorvette's been in and out of the pit a couple of times.
He's still on the lead lap. Mike, lead lap cars 99, 52, 6, 31, 77, 71.
That would be...
I think that's it.
Just about it, yeah, because Doug Stokes, I think, is down a lap or very close to it.
Yeah. So that would give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cars in the lead lap, I believe, at this point. Which is a pretty respectable number, over 100 laps into a race on a night like tonight with the temperature the way it is.
We have 18 cars on the track right now.
I know, Barry, when the people get to watch this, it's going to be a Sunday afternoon. But we can tell you right now that here it has just become Sunday morning. So, we've been here. Some of this MASCAR staff has been working in this heat since 1 o'clock this afternoon. This is what they do for free. So
Well, folks, you should be very, very appreciative of what's coming to you in your living room here, and also the TBNB people, except for a few, we call them staffers, are paid here, but the rest are volunteer. And a lot of the camera people get these great camera shots are volunteer. So,
15 is Scott Alexander off the pace there in a hurry, and he's,
I think he's got a blown tire now.
Staying way low on the track. Here the spotter saying the car low in turn 1. The spotter's doing a great job. He stopped. We're going to get a yellow.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely going to get yellow. He lost all power there. Yeah. He just coasted into that turn 1.
Yellow flag coming out. Great job by Art Steves to hold that yellow weight. Picked up the lead pack. That allows the scorers an awful lot better chance to get everybody in position.
That just shows you experience right there. That is definitely a lot of experience.
Rolled up and loaded, but he didn't launch it till exactly the right time.
Nope. Scott Alexander now has got the car powered. But he is definitely, I think, down a lap.
Well, the Atlantic Chrysler Dealers pace truck with Steve Breen piloting. Once again, leading the pack. They're running a pretty good pace himself at the front, but trying to keep the engine temperatures down in these cars and trying to keep these drivers cooled off.
Well, I'm telling you, that guy driving the bumper car there, or the push buggy, whatever you want to call it, he's sitting there in the bunker gear that they call it there for the fireman. He's got to be hot at night, because I wore one of those in the Miramichi one time, went into a smokehouse, and look at here. I think the whole body was smoking when I took it off, because it was some hot. Give that guy credit to sit there in that outfit. But he's probably been sweating to death all day anyway, so that wouldn't...
He's been here, the first cars went on the track at 1:15, this first sportsman and street stock cars to practice, and he was dressed for action the minute they went on the track.
See the guys trying to keep the tires warm, swerving side to side. Scott Fraser's really moving up in the pack here. He's sitting now in 7th spot. He was way back. I'm going to take this opportunity right now to say that if you are watching and you don't live in New Brunswick, but you are watching us here on TBNB, and you would like to see MASCAR in your area, and say Nova Scotia or PEI or whatever other province you may be from, get in contact with your local cable carrier and say, you know, TBNB is carrying this. We'd like to maybe see some of this in our own area. It's been something really interesting to watch. Commentators are a little iffy, but you know, we like watching it anyway.
We have fun. We have fun. That's what we're here for.
Oh, we have lots of fun.
Art's got the rolled up green going. Actually, Barry, I was down and talked to a lady from Halifax just a few minutes ago, or just before the races started, actually, and she's wondering how she can get copies of these tapes. So I told her, go ahead, you call your local cable company and you can tape it from there. But Wayne Smith just returned to the track from the pits, and the number...
green flag's out, and we're going to get ready for racing again.
The 15 is Scott Alexander, just returning to the track.
So once again, your race leader is number 81, Bobby White. Second place is 97, John Fleming. I don't have to look out there now.
Third place, number 48, Dave Oblinus.
I'll be saying those numbers in my sleep tonight. Be like a lot of 649 going on in my head.
We got a car loop.
What's that? I can't. Oh, we got a blown tire here on Dave Pierce, or Dave Potter's car. I don't know how, that didn't happen anything with the accident. We got Rick McCracken going backwards down the track. Definitely a full course yellow coming out here now.
Must have done some road racing, have you? For full course yellow is a road racing term.
I know. I just thought of that when I said it. That's like a Formula One, which is something I used to like watching all the time because, like I say, I lived in a country where there was no cable, and CBC always carried Formula One. So, and they only had yellows on portions of the courses there sometimes. So,
71 car just here in the scanner. The battery's dead in the car. I think they just called for a push truck. Not a great job from the guys back in the pack to take their cars high and low and go around. And that's what you see. That's the difference between the other class, the lower classes of cars, is the talent of the drivers and of course, we get a little bit of an advantage with the radios. The radios make the difference between night and day. The spotter sees lots of things the driver doesn't see, and the sportsman cars, they don't get a chance for anybody else. If they don't see it in the car, it's usually too late by the time you're on top of it. So
you know what, we're getting close to midnight here, just after midnight, and you see a lot of parents carrying out some sleepy-eyed kids. I see one fella going there, and the little girl just limp on his shoulder down there.
They can sleep in this noise. They can sleep anywhere.
Well,
noise in the heat.
Yeah, well, the sun today, that would have knocked him out in the fresh air, which is one great thing about being out to a MASCAR race. You're out in the fresh air. And only once this year so far in the season, we're into the 7th race, was there a rain delay. That's right. The Antigonish race didn't go Saturday night, went Sunday afternoon. So race didn't get canceled or rescheduled. Really, it just got postponed to the next day. So had great luck so far this summer with the weather.
Rolled up green. They're going to go this time by.
Hopefully we get nice weather in PEI on the long weekend. Eric Steves has the green out. He's showing it to Bobby White. Bobby's saying, I'm going to take it right now, and we're going racing. The number 81 car, Bobby White in the first. Number 97, John Fleming sitting in second. 48, Dave Oblina sitting in third. Greg Seward is in fourth.
Sean Tucker in fifth.
Sean Tucker would be in fifth. George Koskulix is in sixth. And Scott Fraser sitting in seventh. If they lined up properly, that's the proper order, up to about the seventh spot anyway.
That's the top 5. 6, 7. Scott Fraser's followed by the 77 Dave Gorvette and the 44 Wayne Smith.
So as Al goes and finds out how many laps we're on here, I'm going to go down and check with the scorers. You see Dave Potter coming back out onto the track after getting his tire fixed. So Bobby White is still leading this race, opening up with a 1-car lead on John Fleming. See a little bit of a race there between Greg Seward and Dave Oblinas.
We'll be going on lap 119 next time by.
119. Lap 119. Boy, it's going by pretty quick here, Al. I don't know what to do, but this has really been a fairly quick race. Give the credit to Aaron Steves and Mr. Dixon. I think they didn't fool around and got things underway quite quickly. You see the yellow and blue and yellow flag coming out. I think that's on the number 88 car of Chris Hughes. Your race leader still is number 81, Bobby White. The number 97 car of John Fleming is in second. Greg Seward is now in third. Dave Oblinas is in fourth. Sean Tucker is kind of looking at the fourth place right now. He sits fifth. Scott Fraser kind of sneaking up a bit there. We're getting into a little bit of slow traffic. Trying to get, across.
44, Scott Fraser, or Wayne Smith and the Scott Fraser car. Making a go of it there.
Scott Fraser really got his work ahead of him right now to get up there in the top, at least the top
Wayne
5.
Smith just drove under him.
Cutting him off a bit there, but that's racing. Shut the door on him. Dana Duncan getting the blue and yellow flag from Mark Steves. Mark Steves doing a little shuffle up there. He's a comical fellow to watch. Scott Fraser trying to get down on the inside of Wayne Smith, and I think he's going to do it. It's across start finish line. He doesn't quite get by him.
Now they're going to be coming up on the lap car of number 88, Chris Hughes.
He's holding him up a little bit there.
He gets underneath him. No, he did get by him.
You see George Koskulix trying to get by him.
Now, Wayne Smith now working Scott Fraser over, so we've got it coming both ways.
So your race leader is number 81, Bobby White. And I think Greg Seward just took over second place from John Fleming. That one just happened. I didn't even notice it. It's across the start finish line, and Seward has taken away second place from John Fleming. Seward kicking in the turbo there, I think, and getting by John Fleming as he's opening up a bit of a lead. He can use that slower traffic.
The wily veteran, I guess, prevails so far. I mean, that's the way you got to look at it. You don't become a MASCAR many-time champion without knowing what you're doing. Jimmy, or Greg with brother Jimmy, crew chief. Freddie, I believe, quite sure Freddie's last name. Anyway, they've got one heck of a good crew. Seasoned veterans on the 99 Seaward crew.
Well, I think it's safe to say that Scott Fraser, Dave Gorvette gave Scott Fraser quite a little bump there going into turn number 3. See what happens back there. It's the two of them going down side by side down the back straightaway. Scott Fraser looked like smoking the tires a bit going into turn 3. Dave Corvette now looking at Wayne Smith trying to get by him.
I believe we just went by lap 131, 19 laps to go. 18, I believe, would be with this lap just went by.
Speaking of a many-time NASCAR champion and veteran, Dave Corvette from Sherwood PEI. Actually, I think they call it Sherwood Parkdale now. It's amalgamated a little bit there. We just Sherwood at one time. And there we see Chris Hughes, the slower car, got spun around. He's in a dangerous spot there. I don't know if the yellow's going to come out or not. It
Yellow's
does.
out, yeah.
Yellow's out now. He's in a dangerous spot there facing the traffic. Sitting there like a fish out of water, basically. So we'll get them realigned here. Looks like Chris will have to go to the back of the pack, but I think that's where he was anyway, so as we take a little break here and they get cars lined up, you're watching CarQuest MASCAR Tour 1999 on TVMB. We'll take a break and we'll be right back. Chris Duncan in the 79 car. Chris, last weekend not a very good finish. Just tell us briefly what happened last weekend.
Just couldn't get hooked up there at the track. Never could since I been there, but someday we'll find the right setup there. But we were pretty good here, so hopefully we have a better day.
Arriving late here today, not getting too much practice time in, if any, and how's that going to play a factor? I'm hearing from some of the other drivers that the track's a little greasy out there in places. Some say it is, some say it isn't. How are you going to tackle this track here today?
Well, we didn't get no practice, but today was so hot that tonight it'll be a whole different track anyway. So basically, cross our fingers and hope we got the right setup from the house.
How is it now racing more or less side by side by your brother now?
Same as it's been for a while now. Same crashing. You know, he's no different than anybody else out there. Just we kind of work together and help each other out in that. And if we're running together, we try to make strategies sometimes. But as far as going for checkers and stuff, he's like anybody else out there.
So it's a dog-eat-dog world out there on the track.
No, pretty much, yeah. We've bumped just, I had blue paint on my car just a couple weeks ago from his, so just one of those things you're bound to touch in racing.
A little longer race here tonight, 150 laps here at CanAm Speedway. How's that going to play a factor on some of the cars here tonight if the heat doesn't go down a whole lot?
Overheating on the motors. I can see a lot of people probably getting hot because the heat is warm area, so if it don't cool down, that's going to be the major factor. Is motors are going to get too hot here.
What do you think of this track compared to some of the others you've raced on so far this season?
Flat, but it's nice and smooth, and it's real nice facilities, and no complaints about it whatsoever. It's a little different than the one I used to run on, but you know, they all are, so it's a great place.
Got a little bit of a safety lane there with the four wide on this track. It's 4 lanes on this track. There's a little bit of a safety factor in case you do spin out. You got that little 20 feet or so to try and get back and gain control of the car.
Yeah, but once you get into the marbles up on the high, the safety lane just isn't a wall. That's all.
Okay, thanks, Chris.
Yep.
And on your screen right now, you see the 81 car, who is the leader, and that's Bobby White. Welcome back to CarQuest MASCAR Tour 1999 from CanAm Speedway in Bariswa, New Brunswick, which is just outside of Shediac. I'm Barry Johnston, and my color man here tonight is Al Robinson. We got the green flag out here, Al, and we're going to get ready for racing. Art Steves is going to give it to Bobby White. He's going to take a Greg Stewart right off the green flag. We're going to see something happen here. There goes Bobby White high. Greg Stewart jumped on that green flag on Bobby White. You know you got one wet hen in that car in the number 81 right there now. John Fleming sneaked by Bobby White also in when Bobby White went high. Now John Fleming has a real good chance of going at this race and winning it if he can get up on Greg Stewart. And Scott Fraser is moving away up on the outside. You're going to see some hard driving here now by these lead drivers.
I hear them in the scanner saying, okay, guys, make them wide. Well, here we go.
That's Doug Stokes. Doug Stokes has gone to the inside. Art Steves, I don't think he'll bring up the yellow for that. He'll leave him right in there. And right now, your race leader is the number 99, Color Your World, Greg Seward.
Color Your World and Minute Muffler are the 99 car sponsors. Followed by the 97 and then the 81 of Bobby White. Fourth place car, Dave Oblinas, the 48. 52 is Sean Tucker, 44 Wayne Smith, and then 77 and 31 is Scott Fraser, really duking it out for their position.
Excuse me, a lot of dust around here. Road's getting a little dry, starting to Yellow flag does come out. Art Steves, I think, wants to get that Doug Stokes car out of there. We'll see Bobby White going up beside Greg Seward and giving him a few words or not. Here he goes. Definitely a few words being said there towards one another. You don't just pull up beside somebody like that and then back off and get into your spot. So, trash talk, I guess we could call that, as they do in the NFL and hockey and stuff. You're facing off against one another.
Part of the mind game.
Oh, I think he might just went up and said, hey, fancy driving, nice driving.
Yeah, are you having fun tonight?
Yeah.
Guess what? There's only about 10 laps to go.
Yeah. I'm going to go down and have a few more words with you. But these guys may be weekend warriors, but they're definitely fierce competitors out here. They take this quite seriously. A lot of them are just average blue-collar workers who have a job to go to on Monday morning. So they do take this quite seriously, but they don't want to put their lives or anything else, anybody else's, in jeopardy. Because there's no workman's comp if you get hurt out here. You're on your own. So your race leader is the number 99 car of Greg Seward. Sitting in second is John Fleming in the 97 car. Bobby White now has been kind of pushed to the third position after getting bumped a little bit by Greg Seward. In fourth place is number 48, Dave Oblinas. Sitting in fifth is Sean Tucker. And in sixth position is number 44, Wayne Smith. And sitting seventh is Scott Fraser. And eighth would be the Islander, Dave Gorvette.
Well, Barry, just checked with MASCAR officials. We have 8 laps to go.
8 laps to go. So there should be some interesting driving here for the last 8 laps. My eyes deceive me. Did Dave Oblinas change some sponsors there on his car?
Dave Oblinas changed his paint scheme.
Okay.
When you were on vacation.
Okay. I wish he would have told me about it.
At least, yeah.
I mean, I know we're what?
But I'm glad you picked that up.
142 laps into the race, and I finally mentioned it. But he did. No, I was noticing that earlier. But
MASCAR rules dictate that the last 10 laps of the race, the lap cars are at the tail end of the pack. So you see the 28 of Alan Vincent moving to the rear. So what we're looking at is the leaders in their actual positions at the present time. Going racing next time around.
So Art wants them crisscrossed here.
No.
They're staying single file.
Single file
Okay.
in their order of position on the track with the. You don't want to snooze here. When Greg Seward puts his foot in it, you want to be right on his bumper.
That's what's going to happen. You see John Fleming trying to get right onto him. See what Scott Fraser's going to do here on Wayne Smith. We have 17 cars out there right now to finish up in the last 8 laps. 7 laps to go. Greg Seward is still leading, and John Fleming sitting in second. Bobby White sitting third. Dave Oblinas sitting fourth. Rounding out the top 5 is the number 52 car, Sean Tucker.
That R&D performance motor under the hood of the 99 supercar really showing some horsepower here late in the day. Or late in the morning, I guess we could call it. Bobby White looking under the 97. That's really making it easier for the 99 of Greg Seward, because John Fleming's not worrying about the fella ahead of him. He's worried about how many cars are going to get him from behind. So he's protecting his own position at second, and he really can make a run at Greg. So Greg's going to, he should, if there's no more yellows, Greg should kind of coast away on this one.
If memory serves me correctly, Greg Seward's last win would have been in Fredericton.
Yes.
If memory serves me correctly. So, we got Chris Hughes and the number 15 car, Scott Alexander, bumping a little bit there. Looks like Scott Alexander stalled it, but got it going on the momentum of the car. Got to jump start it. We do see Greg Seward taking quite a lead now with 3 or 4 car lengths from John Fleming. Scott Fraser, I believe, is going to have to settle for about 7th position here unless he can get by Wayne Smith. Just running out of time and out of track. Great race here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. What's been a very, very hot day here in...
Oh, 81 of Bobby White just giving the John Fleming car a little nudge, trying to loosen them up, like to get by. 2 laps to go. Art Steves crosses sticks. 2 laps to go.
The old popsicle sticks are up.
Well, the 81 will see if Bobby White does this time around. Is he going to tap him again?
Yes, he's tapping right now. Yep, coming to turn number 4. Get the corner onto him there, nudging him just a little bit.
Nobody's going to threaten Gray. This one should be in the bag for him. But the next 4 spots are certainly wide open.
Here comes your winner, the checker flag. Greg Seward in the 99, Color Your World.
Great finish.
Sitting in second is the number 97 car of John Fleming. Sitting third is 81, Bobby White. Fourth was Dave Oblinus. Fifth, Sean Tucker. And sitting in, I think, 6. I don't know if Scott Fraser got by him or not.
6 would be the 44 Wayne Smith. Then the 31 of Scott Fraser. Then the 77 of Dave Gorvette.
And I'd say 8th, maybe Rick McCracken. But after that, we're up in the air on that because of the slower cars. So there they sit, 1, 2, 3, right down in front of the grandstand.
That's a pretty picture.
That is a real nice picture. Some hard-fought warriors down there. Let's see if Bobby White stays as a gentleman down there and doesn't have too many words, because I don't think he liked the way he got put back to 3rd position.
As they say, that's racing.
That is definitely racing.
You got a car left, and you're ready to go the next time.
Well, these fans are going home happy. They definitely got their money's worth here tonight at the CanAm Speedway in Vereshwa, New Brunswick. I think there's a lot of sleepy heads here, and a lot of people probably just going home, go right straight to bed, because I don't think there's too much more you can do here tonight at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. So,
well, I mentioned to you earlier, like my tech guys here, MASCAR tech guys, Mark Foster and Fred Driscoll, my 2 primaries tonight. Dave Dixon running the job as race director. They'll be lucky to be out of here within. They have another hour. By the time they get all the gear taken down and put back in the truck, of course, I guess I shouldn't forget Tony Hartland, who's trackside.
There's a little fountain.
I guess we're going to take it down to Ken Packham down trackside. Here's Ken. Here's Ken with the race winner.
It's ripped up. It's hot, but it's up front.
I got none here, no.
He's going to need water first off. Got to get the helmet off. Nice hand from Bugs, Greg Sword, the Minute Muffler 99. Well, I'll tell you, this one's been a while coming, and he's ready. He needs water right now. I'll get you to face over this way. Boy, what a night.
Trouble early in the race. We only had 3-wheel brakes, but man, I'll tell you, it was hard to hold on to and going in the corners, but the car was fast. We worked on it. I got to thank the crew. They did an awesome job to get me back out without losing a lap. Finally, a year and a half, got a victory.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You could see the plan you were working from lap 110 on. It just looked like a little, give it a little more, give it a little more, give it a little more. Work the plan, stay cool, hold it back until you could get to that comfort zone, and finally came home.
No question, the car worked awesome, especially coming out the bottom. We got Bobby on the restart and got up far enough. I'm sure if the situation was reversed, he would have done the same thing. So I just can't believe it. Finally got one.
Nice hand for Bugs. Greg Seward, the Minute Muffler 99. A big hug from Louise there. That'll keep things rolling. John's trying to get some water into him here. How you doing, Bob?
It's a little dry.
Well, you've made some trips to the Pay Wicket with us this year, buddy.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good season so far.
Yeah, your thing's running well. You were in good shape tonight. It was strong out of the box pretty well, wasn't it?
It was okay. It was a little tight early, actually, and it was getting better there, but after probably the 3rd last caution, the thing tightened up real bad, but geez, 81 and 99, geez, they were flying.
It's just about impossible almost to find a setup that'll work for 150 laps, isn't it?
Yeah, you got to either go good early or good late and just hope you hit it right.
Yeah, if you're lucky and hit almost a better than average setup and run through the whole 150, you're probably in pretty good shape. But hey, man, it's a major just to finish one of these things, especially in this weather. Man, you're warm.
Oh yeah, real warm. It's pretty hot in them things.
Looking forward to Prince Edward Island. Should be some good things over there. We got 200 next, eh?
Looking forward to it.
Zenith Chrome and Brass 97. John Fleming. Nice hand for him, folks. Great job.
Bobby never got out of the car yet. Is he out?
Boy, I'll tell you, you had a night of nights out there. You've had some really strong nights this year, and the car looked real good. I'll tell you, it was just about all you could do probably to keep that heat gauge down, but it looks like.
No, gauge was running real cool, but
just when you stopped her, she started to throw up a little bit there.
yeah, like always, they overheat as soon as you shut them off. We had a good car. Jack and the guys had the car under me, but I knew Seawood was a little faster, but I wish he had went around me instead of through me.
It's one of the things that keeps it interesting. Anyway, you're in good shape for the island.
Oh yeah, we'll be there.
200 laps. You all geared up?
We're going to Halifax first.
There you are. Off we go. Good job, and nice hand for Bobby White.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it right from the horse's mouth. A little dig in there at the end of it by Bobby White saying, I wish he would have around me instead of through me. What do you think of that one, Al?
I think if the shoe was on the other foot, it would have happened exactly the same way.
Well, that's what Greg Seward said.
That's
he said
for sure.
adversity
That's
would
for sure.
and in adversity he would have done the same thing. And it's a dog eat dog. There's no question about it. But the strong will survive, I guess, is the law of nature. And Greg Seward.
We got three great competitors out there. That's the bottom line. I mean, they all come. They all run their guts out. They all got to be hot, dehydrated, tired. Okay.
I think they'll let a cooler head prevail tomorrow morning or tomorrow or whatever the case may be.
This is something they'll go to the pits and have a laugh about. You know, hey, you got me this time, but hey, wait about next time. I'll see you coming. So
200 laps in PEI coming up next from Oyster Bed Raceway Park. It's going to be an action-packed weekend over there, starting on a Saturday night, I believe, over there.
Saturday night for qualifying and the big one on Sunday afternoon.
But also, ladies and gentlemen, Saturday afternoon over there will be drag racing going on also. So if you can get a chance to get over there for the long weekend, it is a civic holiday long weekend. Get over there and take in all the action. It's going to be a lot of fun. So there's your race winners there tonight. In the 99, Greg Seward. Sitting in second was John Fleming in the 97 car. And in third was Bobby White, who led the majority of this race. So that's going to be it from CanAm Speedway here in Shediac, Bearswade, New Brunswick. For everybody behind the scenes on the other side of the camera, and for Al Robinson, I'm Barry Johnston. Have a good night, and we'll see you in PEI.